Why do you need a long rest?
And there's a short
I
rest.
have no more guiding bolts.
So, for
You don't need no guiding bolts.
I mean, I think it's already like late in the afternoon. You can long rest when we go to bed.
So Melina, that's 15 for you.
Perfect.
Not. There we go. Now it's recording. Alrighty. Quick recap. We pick up from where we last left off. You and your party continue your search for answers revolving around Elixion's vestige of divergence. Your journey has taken you to the distant desert continent of Marquette. You've spent a few days getting familiar with the streets and culture of the imperial capital of Ankarel, the Jewel of Hope. After securing lodging, visiting a few temples, and restocking on supplies and magical items both, you've acquired a couple jobs from the esteemed university headmaster of the Allegiance of Allsight, Grizz Alcatraz. Your latest quest had you investigate Ankarel's primary source of water, a divine oasis beneath the Life Dome in the River District. The Allegiance of Allsight received rumors that an entrance to the ancient ruin of Akal Marot may exist beneath the oasis. However, your investigation yielded no confirmation to this rumor. Instead, you found yourselves amid an ambush as two invisible air elementals moved in for the kill. Vanquishing them and sending them back to whence they came from, you and your party take a moment to rest, gather your thoughts on what has just transpired, and discuss your next steps moving forward. So, before you report back to the Allegiance of Allsight, is there anything you wish to do?
When the spirits, the air elementals or undead, whatever, when they died, did they drop Krugen's little amulet thing? Did we find that on them?
Yes, the crystalline shard has been dropped into water. Krugen has walked up to it, picked it up, inspected it for any damage, and has taken some time, as you guys discuss some things over RP chat, to assess the damage of the dome. So he has it, yes.
Right.
Is it Krugen?
Krugen, yes.
Looks like Link.
Yeah, a little bit, like a little tiny child.
He is a halfling.
Oh, I thought he was a gnome.
He's a gnome. He's a gnome.
Or do I have it backwards?
No,
Is
the
Rashid
halfling.
the gnome?
Yeah, Rashid is the halfling.
Okay.
Krugen is a gnome. Working with the
that's my
Allegiance, sort
notes.
of take care of this greenhouse.
So Nia said she was gonna help patch me up and everything because I took a couple pretty hard hits out there. So I would just thank Nia for helping me, kind of helping her wrap like gauze and bandages around, my arm a little bit, trying to stay still. Well, it's most appreciated. I really appreciate it. It's hard to see those bastards. It's something we might have to prepare for later at some point.
Most definitely. Maybe something to keep in mind next time you pick up any new spells. Get some like fog or something or not fog, but like frost or something that will stick to them.
Yeah, we'll definitely have to put our minds together and think of something. It's possible that someone... Well, actually, when she's kind of saying this, she's thinking about it. She's like, oh, well, if they were invisible... She has... I can't remember. Maybe I'm reading too much into it and not putting my thoughts out there. Thinking that maybe someone had, like, conjured these, like, spirits. They weren't just here. And as she's kind of going through that thought process, she's like, well, perhaps somebody was here that was invisible, but we never would have seen them off to the side. That dog isn't following us anymore, though that could just be pure coincidence. As she kind of takes the rest of her bandages and kind of tucks it away, puts her sleeves over it and everything. She wants to look around and kind of investigate, like, along this, I'll kind of mark it out, like these kind of planters here, like all the way around, to kind of see if there would be like any, like, I don't know, I know spell components get used, but like anything that would reveal that somebody may have been there hiding in the shadows or something to conjure these things.
Sure. Roll me an investigation check as you take a good minute or two to walk around looking for any traces of a summoning spell.
Investigation. 22.
With 22, using your keen skills as a member of the Kobold Soul, and I'm having a brain fart. Your title?
Expositor.
Expositor, yes. And expositor/investigator. With a 22, Nick, you find absolutely no traces. But not just that. Not finding it is also information. You are 95% sure that these creatures were not summoned here.
Wouldn't trying to summon something while invisible break the invisibility?
Not greater invisibility, I think. If I'm being meta, I think you can still stay invisible.
The greater, yeah.
It's not
Yeah.
being meta, it's knowing how magic works.
True.
I guess it's possible. There might be something here.
It only lasts for 1 minute, right? You have to get in, quickly summon it, and then run away.
I'm not too familiar with invisibility. It's not really my forte. I'm sure there could be variations of a minute, or maybe even perhaps longer. Just keep using magical powers.
From what you recall, the doors have opened by Krugen when you first entered, sealed behind you, and have not opened since.
Is it possible for someone to summon into an area that they can't physically be in? Elena?
That is above me. I haven't experienced anything like that. They would have to have some kind of sight. It could
Well,
be
this is a
anything in these
glass
surroundings.
building.
Yeah. They could look into it, and it's hard to say. I thought maybe they may be here.
Maybe they followed us into this dome.
I didn't see anything, but it is possible they could have been invisible. The amulet that we have allows us to turn one of us invisible, so it's entirely possible.
And Zeno, you weren't able to hear anything with your keen senses?
Okay, two things. What do you mean the amulet can turn us invisible? I thought that was something that happened prior to the awakening.
It has the power to. It seems like our innate powers, have rubbed off on that amulet, and has kind of like taking a liking to us and kind of like absorbed a little bit of our powers.
I'm just trying to understand. I'm reading through. I'm glad that you threw that up there. I don't see anything in the description.
So, I think you're thinking that the awakened state replaces the dormant state. No, it stacks on top of it.
It stacks.
Yes.
Okay.
The number of charges is increased, but you still retain the ability to use one charge, expand it for the invisibility spell, but you can also use it for other things.
Yeah, the third bullet point right there, above, up top.
Oh, the gray. Okay, sorry.
Yeah.
So the grayed out isn't like no longer. It still applies.
Yeah.
Still applies. I'm not
All
sure why is it grayed out.
I gotcha. I misunderstood. It's a darker gray, so I assume that was like what it was before, and everything in sort of the white text applies. All right, I am on the same page as everybody else.
Okay.
I mean, with that being
Everything's
said,
dark. Everything's black. I don't know what's happening.
but
Continue. Yeah.
well, I was gonna say I don't really have much else to add. It's entirely possible we could have been followed here, and someone could have casted it, some spells or conjuring, or something. I felt like we would have. I don't know. I feel like we've been alert this whole time, being with you guys for some, weeks now on end. That, everyone has pretty good senses about being, stalked or anything, and be a little bit hard to believe that something got past us that quickly or that
I've been trying
easily.
to keep an eye out on anything around us. I have a feeling that ever since the market, I had a feeling somebody might be following us or keeping an eye on us.
I don't doubt it. I just
Why have you had that feeling?
Let's just say that if somebody came to Port Domali and did what we did, I know, given the organization I'm a part of, we'd be following them.
The organization you're a part of,
Yep.
which is
he's referring to the
No
myriad.
result. Yeah, I'm just not saying it because the gnome's like within 25 feet of us. Yeah, but
well, if
that
we're
is what-
gonna talk in concern about our surroundings, perhaps we should
should
go
probably
somewhere where we can
attention
talk freely, because I'd like to know more about. I know that Julian is deeply involved in the myriad, just based off of recent events. I know that you have some of the myriad experience in your past, but I didn't know you were still involved with the myriad.
I've been a part of them my entire life, ever since I was 13.
He was practically raised by them. I was just employed.
They were my family.
Though he's been moving away from it recently.
It does seem like the two paths contradict one another a little bit, but that's just an outsider's opinion.
We haven't been near Port Domali, so my family is very far away.
Well, regardless, something's following us. Our faces are known from the bazaar, and it's possible we gained the attention of something. I know your concerns, Julian, are with the allegiance, and there's merit. It's a new place, and I'm not saying we shouldn't be careful, but I just don't think this would be their doing. They would have hit us a lot harder and taken what they wanted. But from what I've known, there might be something a little bit more to it. Something that we can possibly delve deeper on.
We were told about the the Sentinels of Memory, and Aloysia is working with. I keep missing. Working with the Vermilion Dream, and they're hand in hand, working with each other. She got back way before we did. She could have made comments to them or told them to look out for us. And we know that the Secret of Memory is within the court, trying to hide and bury the past. We're walking around with a literal item of the past. We could be seen as a threat to them. Or a threat to what they stand for.
Yeah, that's still very true, because the Allegiance and the Library want to keep delving into this past, being it good or bad, so we can learn from it. And if you remember what Question had said about mythic residents, I mean, it might be entirely possible that another calamity might be on the horizon, and we need to find out about it, or everyone else in this world could perish.
Everyone potentially is a suspect. I'm just saying we shouldn't be so confident that a person we just met today, who we've spent less than maybe up to an hour with in total, is innocent. We don't really know anything about this guy.
Then again, we also don't know anything about this city, to be fair.
Yeah, don't know anything about anyone. So don't be confident that anybody is innocent.
We're not, but to get any footing or any knowledge, you have to at least put some trust in someone to actually gain information. We're not saying trust blindly, but we're saying at least try to trust one.
If we want to...
Who's the one?
Cobalt Soul. You can go to the Cobalt Soul.
Or maybe trust with conditions? Or with reservation?
And I don't mean completely trust. I mean to speak. Trust enough to speak to them.
Melina and Nia, do you trust the Cobalt Soul?
I trust them wholeheartedly.
Definitely.
If you want to play with our cards close to, our hand of cards close to us, I mean, that's fine. We can be a little cautious. I think that's warranted. It's a new city. There's a lot of moving parts. We can go to something that at least a couple of us have a little deeper ties to, and that would be the library. We can check in with them, talk with them, see if they're aware of anything, if there's any disturbances within the Allegiance of Allsight, within their ranks, or if they're having any troubles with communicating with them. There might be an active saboteur, something. It's hard to say for now, but
I have been. Sorry, can you say? I thought you were finished.
no, go. I was finished. What'd you say though?
I have been thinking it over, and I think you were right to stay close to the Allegiance of Allsight. Though I don't trust them, if hypothetically Grizz or someone close to him was the one who organized this attack, he's going. If we cut contact with the Allegiance, he's going to immediately know that we suspect him and potentially be more subdued and violent with his approaches. But if we go back to him and we say, "Hey, we were attacked at the dome. Can you help us to figure out who it was?" It sort of implicitly signals to him that we don't think it's him, and maybe he'll let down his guard. Hypothetically, if he's the one who did it.
To be fair, I have been watching him in any movement he does. Watching him when I spoke of the Calmoro gave us knowledge that he had an aware to the ruins down below the city, so... And when we go back, I'll be watching him again.
Yeah, if so, what you're saying is you want to play, you want to lure possibly a perpetrator or somebody out into the open by, somewhat a little bit of a bait. I can get behind that. That's totally something that I would do.
Kind of like playing coy a little bit. Playing a little dumb.
Indeed. Well, I wouldn't phrase it that way, but sure.
I propose that we leak, if you will, specific information and see how certain parties react. For example, we could tell Grizz or some of his subordinates specific information, such as, "Oh, we're heading to this area of the town. See if we get attacked." That might sort of help confirm if there's corruption.
Yeah, I see where you're going. I like it. The only thing is,
somebody could listen in.
He's a headmaster, and because he's a headmaster, he has to give orders down a chain of command. It would be hard to trace where exactly his words go and kind of follow that. I mean, it may not be him, it may be him, it's hard to say. But I see where your train of thought is on that.
I don't have my Ring of Truth anymore, or my Circle of Truth. I used to have that spell. But since we weren't in a city anymore, I didn't think we needed it, so I don't have that spell anymore. Or Zone of Truth in Boostal.
What about that pair of guards outside of the Crystal Chateau? They did not give the strongest, comfort of allegiance towards, allegiance towards the Allegiance of Allsight. Well, as weirdly as that is to phrase, they were very dismissive. I'll put it that way.
Yeah, dismissive and a little quirky. Rashid seemed to be the one who was calling the shots. I don't know. No offense, but sometimes even Cobalt Soul members can be a little standoffish and not have very charismatic skills, spending too much time indoors and
gotta start
their head in the books. Yeah, no, I agree. It's something to look at.
There is a chance that he was standoffish because none of us are actually part of the Allegiance. If one of us was tempted enough to actually join them and get an actual, color of them or an icon, they might be a little bit more willing to speak to one of us too. That is also a possibility.
True, but if you just follow that philosophy, we'll never uncover anything, because that's going to be everybody.
Well, I say let's do this, and then maybe we can put it to a vote. Let's keep our ties with the Allegiance. We'll keep our hands close to or keep our cards close to in our hand. Play a little bit more defensive, but let's still keep them interested to possibly draw out a jackal among them.
Behind that.
Hey Tom, this entire time that Kruger is over there, Is he watching, listening, or making any facial or making any kind of body language that he might be listening or trying to think about saying something to somebody?
He is very much concerned with the hole in the top of the dome currently that has been freshly placed there by a rogue crossbow bolt, and trying to figure out however he's going to fix that.
Zeno, what'd you do? Did you miss?
He wasn't even
What?
here.
Let's back up a bit and remind everybody that, Tom, you weren't supposed to remember that.
Let's
So
I agree with what
I am
Melina suggested.
I am curious. Okay, crossbow, heavy crossbow. I did not think that it would break the glass. It happened. My question is, a sense of responsibility. I would want to talk to Krugen about repairs, what happens with this situation. Has it happened in the past? I don't want to move on from the dome before we have that conversation.
So you have a conversation now?
I don't think
If-
he would. Maybe.
Yeah, let's all finish our huddle. I imagine we're all
Right.
huddling, sort of talking about sort of our conspiracies, while Krugen's off pouting somewhere. But after our little team huddle, I will talk to Krugen about this.
I agree with what Melina was saying. I also think that before we
9.
go back to the terrace school, that we buy some scrolls of see invisibility. I want to and have maybe Melina cast it before we go into Grizz's office. Want to see if maybe someone is scrying on us when we visit, or if maybe through some audacity they just happen to have like another invisible person in the room.
Well, casting, I'm not sure. I'd have to look at the scroll if we were to. But reading it would have to be done aloud. I wouldn't be able to do it before him, but I don't know if it's a large area or how it exactly works. We'll have to take a look at it. She can't cast a spell like right in front of him, be like, "Hey, Grizz, hold on."
Yeah,
I don't
like
know.
you could
I
just
don't
do
know
it
how the
like
spells work.
right before we walk into the school.
Yeah, that can be done. I just don't know if it follows me or if it's just like it can't go beyond like doors and walls. You know, like how the spell exactly works, like meta-wise. I'm saying.
See invisibility? It works on your eyes, I imagine.
I don't know how the spell works. I haven't never used it. But yeah, if
Okay.
it walks with you, then yeah, I mean she'll cast it. But hopefully that doesn't go for too much money. But we still have some funds left. But
Nia still has quite a bit of funds because she hasn't done anywhere near as much shopping as you guys. So Nia has about 2,800 gold left.
well, we can pull our resources together, see what we have. We can all chip in or do something, or we can try to find other means.
I was also thinking of buying a few extras of those scrolls for if we have to deal with invisible creatures in the future. I was also thinking of other means of dealing with invisibility, like buying bags of flour or coal, or like getting a lantern of revealing. But sooner or later, we're gonna have to go underwater, and I couldn't think of any other, and none of these solutions would work underwater. So it seems like sea invisibility or other spells like fairy fire would be our only solution down there.
Changing the colors, the opacity of the water will help too. But you'd have to have some kind of like ink or a dye or something that would have to be readily available. Something that wouldn't cause harm to us as well.
You think paprika would work?
It would probably just be dissolved by water.
Yes, therefore taking on its color.
Like how much paprika?
Fairy fire seemed to be effective. If we're talking about invisible assassins, there's going to be some sort of magical means behind it. Physical tossing of water or paprika only goes so far. I think that we need a magical means to illuminate invisible creatures.
Yeah, something a little more consistent, I would say. I can change the color of the water a little bit to kind of help give an outline, but people, they can just move right through it and wash it away or so. So something trying to find a little bit more, what's the word, like consistent would be a little bit better. Magical means or something to completely lock down an area. You had mentioned a lantern, but we would need something for underwater.
There's a lantern
Yeah,
underwater
the lantern.
that Mushid has.
Wait, what? A lantern underwater?
Yeah,
Oh, but wait,
it's
that's
a
different
magical
from
lantern.
But that's different from a lantern of revealing. That's a lantern that specifically reveals invisible creatures. Is what I was getting to.
Oh,
If we could find something similar, we could look around. We have a little bit of time before we start going into the depths of Calamaro, if we can find our way down there. But it is something to think of in the future, maybe along our ways of walking in the streets and everything, brainstorm ideas, and if you find something of interest, maybe we'll pick it up or see what's able to be done.
Do we want to at least get the see invisibility spell before going back to talk to Grizz? See if there are any see if anything is scrying on us, or if there's any invisible people while we're in his office.
I mean, it might cost a pretty penny, but it'll give us some insurance.
A little
Depends
bit.
on
I'll
how.
help cover the
Yeah.
costs.
I don't have much funds left. I can give a little bit, but it's not hardly anything at this point.
I need my funds for the Displacer Beast cloak if we go up north.
That's
well,
fine.
the invisibility is a spell that both Melina and I can learn in the future.
Well,
We're gonna need it for tonight, though. Tomorrow morning.
yeah, this is something we just want to do a little one-off on. Committing my memory to so many spells is a little taxing, but it's making sure I have the right ones. The inks cost a lot. There's just a lot that goes behind it. But we can try to find something in the meantime. If we do find a scroll, I could commit it to memory, learn it, do as best as I can, and transcribe it, but that'll take more. And I'm surely I'm out of funds right now. But well, if that sounds good to everyone, we can keep that as a plan. Kind of be defensive, kind of maybe bring this person out into the light by kind of using ourselves as bait a little bit. But in the meantime, there is a bunch of glass, it looks like, just hanging from the ceiling. We'll probably have to tell Krugen, maybe they can get someone to come clean the glass. I'd hate for someone to drink that.
Who is Krugen again? Real quick.
This one.
The gnome that's over there looking for a skunk.
Oh. I doubt he knows what it would cost to repair it. That's something we'll have to talk to the headmasters about.
Let's
maybe he
get
does.
some
Go
money
ahead and ask
first before we tell them about the glass.
You think it'll cost more than like 50 gold?
That's a pretty big piece of glass that broke up there. It looked like the centerpiece of the dome.
Well, we may have broke it, but it wasn't. We were under attack, and we can't be held. I don't think they would hold us liable for fixing such a thing, to protect our lives.
Maybe not. We'll see.
Well, let's see what Krugen is. Hopefully he has his amulet back, and he can maybe shed some light on this. So if anyone wants to go talk to Krugen, we can go talk to him about the pain and do whatever.
Speaking of which, Zeno, can I still use the amulet for the rest of the day? I'll give it to you tomorrow.
I am debating on giving it back to you. There's a lot of hesitation. Sorry. Are you asking me like exactly like that? Hey, can I borrow the amulet?
In character, Julian probably wouldn't use the word borrow, but he'll say, "Hey, can I use the amulet for the rest of the day, and I'll let you use it tomorrow, and going forward until someone else asks for it."
Okay. Yeah. With that, take it off his neck, hand it over to you.
Thank you. Julian puts it on, hides the chain and the amulet underneath his cloak and shirt. Talk to the gnome.
Boop, boop, boop. Walking over. Piece of glass pane. About 50 gold pieces. Okay.
Oh, that's right.
Krugen, are you okay? Are you hurt or anything? They didn't get near you, did they?
Oh, you seem to have handled them just fine, whatever that was. I just get a skunk around and just can't seem to get the smell off me, and I would hate for you guys to get sprayed. Or for it to nibble at any of the vegetation around here.
Hey, what does he say?
Have you seen a skunk around here? Can't you smell that? That awful, awful smell.
Was there a skunk smell before?
You're walking into a cloud of it now. No thanks to your druid.
Staying about 10 feet away.
You walk toward Kruger and just the closer you get to him, the more pungent the smell becomes.
Oh, well, I'll step away then. Just holding my nose.
Can I try looking around for the skunk?
You don't see one. You guys seem to have handled that quite well. Sorry it turned out this way. Usually when I have guests, it's much more welcoming than this, but whatever that was, you handled it well. Did you end up finding anything?
Well, down below, our friend here, Zeno, hasn't found any disturbance in the water. There's been no activation, there's been no traces of anyone coming through. The silt's been undisturbed. There's nothing. So whatever what Headmaster Grizz had told us just seemed to be a wild goose chase at this point.
It's very unfortunate, he says through watery eyes as he's trying to wipe away this steady stream of snot coming out of his nose from his face getting irritated by this pungent smell. As your druid continues to commit chemical warfare.
Is there a reason the smell is lingering? Is this needed?
Oh, skunk smell that will not come off for days, which is why I'm trying to find the damn thing.
Ryan's just sitting there with a straight face.
Taking note of it. That's the second time he's done that today. She's gonna walk over here.
Was that reason you walked into him in the first place?
I can't see any clouds or anything, so I don't know what I'm walking into. That was all brand new to me.
Melina doesn't know that Ryan did that. Ryan cast it with quietly behind his back with nobody else seeing.
Sure.
Right, but you also casted it when we were in Grizz's office, and that was known, and the same smell's coming back again, so I'm putting two and two together.
I mean, there could have been a skunk that snuck in, no one knows.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if they would have live animals. Just
What's your somatic component for the skunk smell, by the way? Do you just like to blow raspberry?
I'll check.
Oh, right, was doing that.
Well, nobody knows.
Well, verbal somatic.
Fair enough. Julian
You watch
immediately
a D&D.
suspected that he made it.
You watch a D&D movie. You know how verbal somatics work now.
He sneezed and went just a little bit.
Sneeze for it. Alright.
Basically.
Fair enough.
well, pushing away the smell from her nose, waving her hand. Well, whatever this is needs to be done with it right now. We nearly just got killed by two spirits, and dissolve this.
I wouldn't know anything about spirits, but I do have my suspicions of who might have done this.
Well, who do you think it was?
There's only so many people who are capable of communing with such magic, with such creatures. Mostly us of the Crystal Chateau University. We learned such magic in our second semester, perhaps. Maybe you are right about what you were talking about before. There was somebody on the inside, but that would be more concerning. But more likely, I think. Let me just resist. I think that whoever somebody is associated with either the Consortium of the Vermilion Dream or the Sentinels of Memory. That is much more likely than to be one of us. There's no reason for somebody to go through all that it takes to become a part of the Crystal Chateau University only to betray us. It doesn't make any sense. Are you familiar with Vermilion Dream and the Sentinels of Memory?
Not the Sentinels.
He goes on to detail a little bit about the Sentinels if you're curious. Living under the motto of "Let the past die in peace," the Sentinels of Memory make their headquarters in the Tower of Memory, the Guided District. It serves as a meeting place for this political faction, as they're led by a very prominent figure in Ankarel, a priest elf by the name of Watcher Trust. He is the one. Nia and Lena, you're part of the Cobalt Soul, actually. Go ahead and roll me history checks if you don't mind. While on the subject.
History, okay.
Of Watcher Trust. 13?
13.
Okay. Melia, the name seems familiar to you. Nia, not so much, but tickling your memory here, all you know is that among the clergy of Ayun, Watcher Trust is a prominent historical figure. Elves living for hundreds of years. He has made his mark on the world within the clergy of Ayun, and has founded the Sentinels of Memory here on Karel, maintaining command over the faction to this day. That's all you will recall. From what Kruger suspects is the Sentinels are allied with the Consortium of the Vermilion Dream. They are sort of have overlapping goals politically, and therefore sort of opposing the allegiance of Foresight. They had history of sort of rubbing, not elbows. What's the opposite of that? There's a friction. Well, the opposite of rubbing elbows. They're not buddies. They're like the allegiance of Foresight. Sure, they have some friction between them. This group of fanatics believe the sunken city beneath Ankarel is something not of grand ancient wonder like we do. No, they believe in nonsense. They say it's a prison that must be kept sealed at all cost. Their sightings lack of recorded history, but to be fair, we lack the same about ours when it comes to Cal Marot. It is only a recent discovery, you see. And we have not really faced proof one way or the other. There's no proof that the powerful forces within must be expunged. It is all still all fresh. But they are willing to do whatever it takes to ensure that no one speaks of that ill-fated city ever again. So I would put the past up to commit such felony here.
It seems like it's a little bit of a race to see whoever gets there first can enact their will. And turning to Julian, and saying this is why I believe that I don't think it's per se the allegiance of Allsight who want to commit, these acts against us. I feel like this is why they must have been infiltrated, or someone's trying to sway our opinion on them, possibly by doing these tricks or causing violence.
As of late, the Consortium of the Vermilion Dream has been supplying the Sentinels of Memory with funds and agents to support the Sentinels' conflict against us. Their efforts have been, to date, mostly political, but if they're capable of doing this, I'm afraid of what they're capable of doing next.
Well,
It's
speaking
true
of
that it
which,
doesn't.
go ahead.
It's true that it doesn't make sense on the surface. Why would someone spend so much time in the Allegiance working with them only to now betray them? And then Julian will telepathically add, unless they know what we have, the vestige. Which this guy doesn't, so of course he has that opinion. But
Speaking back in the telepathic to you, it's always the long game. You know, if you can keep agents infiltrated for a long time, you gain a lot more, rather than just a quick, cash in. But yeah, with us coming to this place with the vestige, it could be activating something on their end. You know, kind of like
for
a
our
go command.
out loud, Julian will say, "For our sake, I hope you guys are right. I would like to, if the Allegiance has any passage to Calmarel, I would like permission with it without a knife on my back."
Were you saying something to Gru, or is that to Krugen?
That was to all of us.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
Everyone. Yeah.
I was just letting anyone respond. Well, going back to Krugen, well, this life dome, it's for everyone here. Whatever their alignment is towards whatever faction they hold, or just the people of the place. Has anyone of interest, or someone off per se, or someone you don't recognize, come in here lately and kind of hang out about, maybe scoping the place out? Do people of the Sentinels of Memory, or even the Consortium of the Vermilion Dream, do they frequent this place here?
The Consortium of Vermilion Dream, I wouldn't not know. They're secretive. Their members often melding in with the crowd, so to speak, But as of everybody else, well, anybody's welcome here. We do not close the doors to anyone.
Well, maybe as a show of force or anything. Do they ever come, wearing? Do they wear their colors? Do they wear their cut?
I have not had visitors in quite some time, though.
Okay.
Not that he can recall.
Okay, I was just curious.
Yeah. All right.
Does anyone else want to say?
Nope.
To this guy, not related to our recent incident, but I am curious, Krugen. Surely this can't be the first time a pane of glass has broken. What typically happens?
Oh, well, I will have to submit papers for repairs and deal with it on my end. It's part of my duties here. I'm just glad nobody here got hurt. It's no casualties that I also have to submit reports on.
Well, there we have it. The process will repair the glass.
I can maybe even try it. Hold on, let me just try something. Anyway, he begins wading into the waters to where the shattered pane has, and begins trying to gather glass together underwater. It's gonna take him some time.
I'll cast mending if it helps.
I suppose you have better things to do than to help me out here. I'll do my duty. I suggest you report back to the Allegiance. The sooner they learn of what has transpired here, the better.
Indeed. Let's go.
Alrighty.
Yeah, I have nothing else to add. If I couldn't find components or anything else, if they don't really stop by here, I mean, we'll keep searching.
Do come back. I could always use company.
We'll be sure to send Grizz a word. Maybe have him send you a helper.
That'll be nice. Field research is dangerous work. Pane of glass is not the worst of it. Especially when we're involving ourselves with all sorts of ancient magic and monster-infested ruins and all that exciting stuff that I'm sure other people get to partake in, and I am stuck here with the stone.
Monsters infest the ruins?
Hmm?
What
Assuming
monsters?
that's what.
I don't know. I'm just following up on a recent rumor I heard. One of my colleagues has been talking all excited like about this recent rumor she had, the place of treasure and whatnot. It sounds exciting. Real shame I can't go.
Are you talking about a place to the north of Oncarel?
Yeah.
Ah,
We're actually been requested to join that. Or asked if we'd like to.
Lucky you! You've been requested. Great. I'm happy for you guys. Sounds like an adventure.
Well, if we
we'll
find
see.
something, we might show it. If we come back here, we can show it to you if we find something.
Oh, you can show it to me, yes. I have spent years training as an excavator to deal with most dangers, years of my life to go out there in the field, but no, I suppose I'll wait here around here in my garden and for you to show me some pictures. Yeah, that sounds fun. Anyway,
Well,
what
maybe
was
we
his name
can.
again? Kento?
Rogan.
Krugen.
Well, maybe we can tell the headmaster to get you some more field work. It seems like you've been here for quite some time.
yeah. Quite some time. Well, I won't hold you then. You surely we must leave. It's all right. I'm sure I'll be seeing you guys around, right? You'll come back, right?
Yeah, we'll come back.
Okay.
See ya.
All right.
Revenge plot, like 10 years later. You never came back! He hunts us all down.
You left me. It's like the plot of The Incredibles with the fuckings.
Yeah. This turns into like a wild Buffalo Bill. He just throws us in a hole. He's like, you will be mine forever.
I was your best sidekick and you just tossed me aside. Oh,
Put the lotion on his skin.
yeah.
Alright.
Okay,
Where
let
it
me
gets
get the door
the hose
for you.
again.
Right, no, yeah, let me get that for you. He lifts the crystal and gives it a few revolutions, and the glass pane to the east just kind of melds away into thin air, opening the way out.
Alright.
Everybody exiting the Life Dome? Anybody lingering for any last minute questions?
Nope.
Cool, excuse
Not
me.
me.
Nope.
Alright, so that'll be us over yonder. Where you guys head?
We want to get that see invisibility scroll and then go see Grizz.
Yeah, I mean, we.
Something else that could be useful. So
What do you have in mind?
I had this in another campaign, and it could be useful for invisible things. This only works though if they breathe. So Tom can maybe.
I don't know what you're talking about. What are you talking about?
But if we could get our hands on some dust of sneezing and choking.
Easily done. You'll probably find it in the Sunken Bazaar and Magic Shop.
But is there any way for us to know whether or not these invisible creatures breathe?
There were air elementals.
So they're part of the
Make
air.
me an Arcana check.
It could potentially still be useful for something else, even if not air elementals.
With 23, having either researched elementals in the past or not, invisible stalkers are essences of air, but they still require breath.
So, and the dust I think has like you blow it, and I think it's either 30 feet or 60 feet. I can't remember.
It's however you choose to distribute it.
The point is that it gets a good coverage of area, and it's not like Tom said. It's not super rare. It sounds like we can get our hands on it pretty easily.
So isn't paprika. But no, it's a pretty.
We just use paprika.
I mean, it's not. If it's not stupid, and it's
Cheap
not.
sneezing, cheap sneezing and coughing dust. Paprika.
But if you're looking for dust of sneezing and choking, you may find it in the Sunken Bazaar for sure. Is that where you guys are headed?
Yeah, we can check some options there on our way back.
So gonna put you guys at the Sunken Bazaar. It's taking about an hour to get there through the busy afternoon streets. We have the party then. Nia, Julianne, Melina with Kane in your pocket, Riot with Shimmer in your pocket, and Zeno. You make your way.
Oh, you got Kane?
He's in his pocket dimension.
Perhaps you should bring him to this dimension. Should we need him?
Oh, and the other thing I was thinking about is if we know we're eventually going to be underwater, yes, we still have some of those seeds, but do we have, like, enough of them to, like, breathe underwater?
Seeds?
Seeds?
They're like seeds or, where are they? Dust of dryness pellets.
No, those make water.
Oh, those make water. So we don't have any more of the things that we used in,
Depending on how many days we have, if people still have their plant of air plant, I can make some at probably a reduced cost, having some of the ingredients already.
Okay, because if not,
I know
then
Melina doesn't have
like-
hers, but that would mean there's still 4 remaining within the party.
And those are what? Sorry, I'm trying to look down the list of things that we have.
I gave one to everybody at the beginning. When
the potion of water breathing? That's
no, it's a plant. It's an air plant. Essentially, is used to make the potion of water breathing.
Oh, okay. Because if not, then because if we didn't have any alternative, then I would suggest like getting like breathing bubbles or something. But it sounds like we already have stuff, so that's awesome.
No, we have to make it.
Oh, we have to make it. Okay. While we're here, yeah, we'd go into the fun shop. Yay, because she didn't get to do a lot of shopping. And she would inquire with regards to an animated shield and any kind of like enchanted lyre.
Enchanted what?
Lyre is an instrument.
Lyre.
And unfortunately, she does not have musical instruments in this shop, enchanted or otherwise, so lyre is not to be found. And an animate shield is also something that you'd have to place a special order for, and you would have to hunt. She informs you for the centerpiece of it. It is an encrusted jewel that acts as the spell focus for the mad shield. Most would need to venture out into the Rumdam Desert, would be the closest destination for such a gemstone, to search the desert, different battlefields from the time of the Calamity, for when such epic heroes wielded such animated shields. They are very, very rare relics that you're asking for. That's something you would, yes. You can certainly get it made with Makazni's help, should you find such a jewel in a temple, burial ground, or anything of the like that connects back to the times of Calamity. Otherwise, you try your luck where people gather, nobles and such, to sort of gamble away their riches and see if anybody is in possession of such a thing. But not something that the average person carries, an animated shield.
Okay. One more thing.
For lyre-wise, yeah, go for it. You first.
Oh, no, go for it.
Lyre-wise, while I was talking about it, I'm like, why am I winning here by not giving it to you? What is it for exactly? What's an enchanted lyre? Are you talking about an instrument of the bards, or are you talking about just like a lyre that's you can channel your...
I wanted to see if I can get a lyre that does more than just playing it for music kind of thing. And I noticed there were quite a few, like, in the compendium, and they all...
The problem is that you're browsing compendium. Okay, let me look up what an instrument of the bard is, because I know there is an item that might be along the lines of what you're asking me for. I just want to make sure that...
Nia, are you...
It's not like
Why are you
legendary.
asking for a shield? Are you sure you're able to use one of those?
she's able to use one of those. Okay, cool. I'll change my mind. Actually, she has 4 variants of these instruments. Not just lyres or lyres. Which one is it?
Lyre.
So I'm thinking it's lyre actually. She has a lyre. She has a bandor, citern, and a harp. All sort of enchanted in their own ways, depending on what you're trying to do. These instruments are tuned by a bard, are made exquisitely, unique one time, superior to their mundane counterparts in every way. Depending what type of instrument you will pick up, you get to name it, and let me read the rest of it. It's essentially a spell focus with which you can cast its own list of spells that has its own wisdom saving throw for and different saving throws. The only thing is, if you fail to cast a spell, if you fail to succeed on the check to cast a spell, you take damage.
Mm-hmm.
That's sort of yes.
Yeah, I think it's psychic damage.
Yes. Are we talking about the same thing here?
Yeah, these ones had specific names that I was looking at, but it sounds like they're more or less.
Okay, so depending on if you're looking for something for channeling your Cure Wounds, Spark Skin, or Fog Cloud, sort of supportive sort of spell works, or something a bit more invasive like Entangle, Fairy Fire, Shillelagh, Speak with Animals, something on the druidic side. Or a third option where you can have, animal friendship, protection from fire, protection from poison. These are the 3 options, 3 arrays are presented to you, and they each will fetch you 1,200 gold pieces.
And that's the lyre, because the lyre's of the 4 that you named. I'm only proficient with the lyre. So.
You can still use the other ones. You just won't be using your proficiency bonus when you're trying to do performance or bonus to any ability checks that are appropriate.
Okay, so it was. What were the 4 instruments, or more or less what the instruments were, what they did?
The lyre is the one that is capable of casting the animal friendship, protection from fire, protection from poison. There's also a bandor, which is for entangling, fairy fire, shillelagh, and speak with animals, a more druidic-looking instrument. And there's the citern, which is the more abjuration magic, bark skin, cure wounds, fog cloud.
You would kind of look at her party, and you would ask for do you guys think that one of these would be more advantageous to the party?
I mean, it's whatever you deem it to be, whatever you think you have the most control over. Anything can benefit any of us at any time. You're the one who wields it, so whatever's best in your hands, whatever you feel like is comfortable.
Tom, you said these instruments have their own saving throws attached to their spells. It's not based on the caster?
Reading it is using spellcasting ability and saving DC of the caster, but it has its own DC for casting the spells, meaning that if you fail that DC, you take damage. In order to channel through it, you must make a roll. They're not free spell slots.
Gotcha.
This is something that you want to venture into, Megan. What will you choose, if any?
I think after session, I will look into what all of those spells do.
The second one does give 4 spells instead of 3.
Well, let her finish.
Yeah, please. What's up?
I think I'll look into these spells after sessions, just so I don't take up too much more time shopping. Okay. But
you still wish to purchase this Death of Sneezing?
I do. Guys, that sounds good, right? We wanted the Death of Sneezing and coughing.
Do what you want with your money.
It could be beneficial. It just I would hate to cast that inside of the room and, kind of upset the headmaster. If there's like I don't know how it works, though. I don't know if you have to blow it directly at him, if it's a cone, or whole area.
Found in small clay containers. This powder resembles very fine sand, appears to be a dust of some sort, can be identified via magical means. And each container contains enough for one dose, each dose going for 150 gold pieces each. When you use an action to throw a handful of the dust into the air, you and each creature that needs to breathe within 30 feet must make a Constitution saving throw or become unable to breathe while sneezing uncontrollably. A creature affected in this way is incapacitated and suffocating. As long as it is conscious, a creature can repeat the saving throw at the end of each of its turns, ending the effect on itself. Lesser Restoration can also end the effect earlier.
I think it could be a good thing, but for doing it in the middle of the headquarters, like the office, we'll all be incapacitated. We won't be able to really
outdoors thing.
You can
yeah, but it's a good getaway
if you
thing.
want it and just save it for another scenario.
I would say that, yeah.
Yeah, so Nia will definitely get one of those. And the last item she was looking at is a dispelling stone.
What?
A dispelling stone. Let me see here.
That sounds powerful.
A dispelling stone is a smooth, rainbow-colored, egg-shaped stone that can be thrown up to 30 feet and explodes out in a 10-foot radius sphere of magical energy on impact, destroying the stone in the process. Any active spell of 5th level or lower in the sphere ends. She does not. She is very much aware of what this item is that you're asking for. She informs you of its properties, and sadly that she does not carry any. It is along the same sort of caliber as a animated shield. Something that somebody richer than you might have acquired, lost out there in the wilds, you can sort of quest for, or try your luck robbing somebody of a higher adventuring caliber than you. But she does not carry such items, unfortunately.
Okay.
Her stock is mostly limited to items of like maybe less than a K and a half in value, goal-wise. Okay. That being said, some of your spellcasters, including yourself, might have the spell magic among your repertoire.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so Megan, go ahead and take out 150 gold pieces if you haven't already. Anybody else looking for anything else in this mystical shop?
Not currently.
Yeah, I'm interested in the immovable rod, actually, while we're here.
As I've noted before, it says 1,200 gold pieces for it.
1,200 for it. It's uncommon. And it's that expensive.
Yes.
Alright. Well, I feel like it will come in handy. I don't know what for, but it gives me variations to finagle the environment around me. So, 1,200 sold.
Sure thing. She sells it along with the box it came in. Elongated, fine wood.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Pretty box.
You even find a little seal burnt into the wood on the other side that says made in Rexentrum.
Nice.
Yep. Anybody else shopping for anything else in the shop?
Jim will ask if she has scrolls of see invisibility.
See invisibility is what level spell, boys?
2nd level.
Okay. Scroll. Heavy.
I gotta look it up too. I don't know what it does.
You spell with a target of self. You cast it for 1 hour. You can see invisible creatures and things. Yeah.
Julian, because you made such a custom order before that landed her a lot of cash, almost like a K in funds, she'll give you a special price on it for merely 200 gold pieces.
Shouldn't the normal price be 150 gold pieces?
That is the price she's giving you.
Per
Take it or
level
leave
of
it.
spell scroll.
Are you
We need to
offering
make
anything in
money.
exchange to lower the price?
Continued business. There are other magic shops in the city.
And there are other clients that besides you here. She has a very good inflow of cash. Do you give her anything in exchange for a lower price? Or somebody else will buy it for full price?
Wouldn't spells like, let's say fairy fire be more effective? You know, if we're talking about giving
This is to see if we're
everybody here in the team
This,
the ability to see.
this is for seeing if someone is scrying on us or if there's an invisible person sneaking around when we go to talk to Grizz.
I mean, 200 gold to confirm a suspicion, and for just a one-off use, and for, you know, I'm trying to not say metal, like, it's how would you describe its level? It's, for its arcane potency, I mean, 200's not the worst.
And I cannot lower the prices, unfortunately. I'm running low on stock because of certain individuals, and would not be refilling until ships arrive via Skyport. So I must keep prices as are. Of course, if you can help me restock somehow, not on mere word and promise, but on action, I might consider lowering price in the future. But as it stands, these are my prices.
And what kind of jobs? would
I'll give
have
you a
listed?
healing potion to lower the price.
Fair enough. 175 gold pieces.
Okay.
Fair enough.
I'll give her 175 gold pieces.
And you get back your spell scroll of Seen Invisibility. Nia, I see you decided to purchase the second option instrument?
Yeah.
Okay, so the way that works, I'll give you the handout. 1 second. I was having trouble finding it before in the compendium for some reason, but it is called Instrument of the Bards. It comes in several varieties. Maybe it's a source I don't own. No, it's from the Dungeon Master's Guide, so why don't I have it? I'll just type in Off the Bards into the compendium. Maybe I'll find it then. Nope. How? Oh, maybe it's like I have to type in like the actual instrument name, you know? You're typing in the one that's like the bark skin cure wounds and fog cloud, right?
No.
Entangle, Fairy Filer, Shillelagh, and Speak with Animals.
Okay,
is
so
what she's going for.
so it is, you have to type in their actual names, and this would be the Fuchlun Bandor. Fuchlun Bandor. It's sort of like a lyre with a lot more strings. It's this. Yes. But it's all like Celtic and stuff. I like it, the little knot work. That's pretty. Instrument of the Bard is an exclusive example of its kind, spirit or an ordinary instrument in any way. 7 types of it exist, each named after the legendary Bard College that specializes in them. The following table, I don't know where the table is, I'll find it for you. Oh, it's all there. The spells are all there. So it comes, they all come with a table of spells, but they all specialize in the last few there on the list. When you attempt to play the instrument, without attuning to it, you must succeed the wisdom saving throw. If you're attuned to it, you're good. Good. That makes a lot more sense.
So next time we get a long rest, I'll just attune to it.
Can be as soon as tonight. You can use an action to play. I'm just reading for myself as well. You can use an action to play an instrument and cast one of the spells. Once the instrument has been used to cast a spell, it can't be cast that spell again until next dawn. Okay, so I guess you'll be tracking that on your sheet somehow. It uses your spellcasting ability and your save DC. Of course, makes sense. You can play the instrument while casting a spell that causes any of its targets to become charmed on a failed saving throw, thereby imposing its advantage on the save. Nice. The effect applies only if the spell has a somatic or material component. That's a very good bard item. All right.
That's why.
A ton of spells. This has more
Yes.
than just those 4 spells. It has
Because-
fly, invisibility,
Yes.
levitate, protect from evil and good,
Yes.
entangle, fairy fire, shillelagh, and speak with animals.
Yes.
Wow.
Yep.
Take your time.
Sing us a song.
So, finally, the bard will like have spells that are not on cleric spell list. But yeah,
Well, basically, I almost doubled with this item, even though I can only use it once per day. I basically doubled my spell list.
Well, they're kept the item. Maybe you can even. I'll give you control of the handout, so you can maybe keep track on the handout itself. That's more convenient for you. Whatever you want to do.
Probably just to my into my feats.
Sure,
My features
that
and
works.
traits.
Yep. Okay, so that's the instrument done. Julian just purchased himself a spell scroll. Anybody else purchasing anything else?
Not at the time right now, no.
Okay. And Nia did get that Stas of Sneezing as you guys venture back into the center market. Where to from here?
To the school terrace, right? Or is there any else we need to stop by?
We can go right to the school, collect our reward, 300 gold, and we can use this scroll. Though I should say, using these scrolls sometimes can be a little finicky. It's not as... It's a little bit of a different magic source, but if you want me to do it, I'll do the best I can.
I'm confident you'll be able to handle it. And Julian hands Melina the scroll.
Wizard be like, DM, can I use the Instrument of the Bard to scribe a spell from it to my spellbook?
Yeah, give me spells. Bro, I'm so fucking broke, I couldn't afford anything right now to put into my book.
Good thing you're going treasure hunting.
Yeah.
Can I just say something? Just me being a DM and liking Roll20 sometimes. Say what you will about other TTSs. I love that you can do this stuff like this, where you can do layers.
Yeah,
well, I mean more like hiding tokens beneath certain things and making the map look sort of dynamic. I don't know. I'm waiting for them to do floors. That would be nice if they did like floor layers. Well, okay.
That'd be dope.
That aside, where to, gang?
To the terrace.
All right.
Onward.
From the Sunken Bazaar, across to the Sigil District and the Terrace Schoolhouse over yonder. At this point, it'll be closing into 4 in the afternoon, toward late evening. About as the sky begins to redden and turn those beautiful shades of orange and pink, you guys go toward Sigil District. The Terrace Schoolhouse, the large and less stingent of the city's 2 universities. The Terrace Schoolhouse, which offers its curriculum, features a whole bunch of what you can see are these gargoyles on the rooftops that have sort of returned to their perch and have petrified into position. A few of them still sort of hover about as you begin to sort of take in the added security to the campus. And we are straight to the upper floors. Reporting.
I was gonna say,
yes.
Yeah, I'd like to do the spell scroll before walking into the place of magic and everything. In case there's countermeasures or something, I would do it outside before.
Do the spell scroll? Sorry. What are you doing?
Yeah, to read the spell scroll outside before I.
Enter
the chateau.
You're activating it from here till now to see if to spend it essentially in the next hour. Yes.
Yeah, because I have an hour of use. I don't want to spend it right outside, just in case if there's countermeasures or if there's some way of just people kind of picking up on if we want to play a little defensively.
So as you gauge about how long it's going to take you to get to the terrace house, do you want to have it last sometime after this encounter, or are you just using it for a trek from here to there and whatever time is left is whatever time is left?
I'm going to use it before we get on their premise. So
like a street or 2 away.
Sounds excellent. Go ahead and cast it. If you're looking for how to cast a 2nd level spell scroll, I'll give you the handout.
You can cast it without making a check as long as you can cast spells of that level.
Oh, I can then.
And it's on your spell list, yeah.
You can only cast a spell scroll if it's on your spell list. So what are you talking about?
Yeah, I was saying that she doesn't have to make a check.
If the spell's in your class spell list of a higher level, then you can use... Yeah, if it is of a level, you can cast it. See what you're saying. Yes. You don't struggle with it if it's of a high layer. For a level, you can cast, yes. I'm just reading the Scene Visibility spell. 1 second, just to get the exact wording on it. And I'll put something on your token too, so I know you have it in the... See invisibility. For the duration of 1 hour, you see invisible creatures and objects as if they were visible, and you can see into the ethereal plane. Oh, ethereal creatures and objects appear ghostly and translucent. You see dead people.
Yes.
Oh, my
That's what I was
cleric
about to
in the
say.
A lot of dead people.
Yeah, Tom, my cleric in the haunted house campaign we did, my cleric had that spell.
Yeah,
Great.
so as you cast a spell, it's like Frodo when you put on the ring and the world just turns like semi-gray and you see wraiths almost everywhere. This city's fucking haunted. But of course, ancient, as it is. Most of the ghostly figures that you do see are elven, in nature, tall, elegant, much taller than you are, still dressed in their ancient robes. Especially around this district, you can see a lot of these magely figures. From what you can guess, are victims of a city lost long ago. Among these elves, you see warriors, you see guards, you see fellow half-elven orcs. From historical recall, you tell that orcs originate from elvenkind, sort of corrupted by Grumsh. Which only connects the dots furthermore. None of their garb or clothes is like that of the modern day, save for a few individuals who may have passed and are kept here in the Dusk Maven's catacombs below your feet and in the mountains. Aside from dead people and a bunch of ghosts, you see an orb following you guys. It is golden color. It is about 10 feet behind you, Melina. And this would have been just before you entered the Sigil District. So if we are on the map when this happened, it would have been... It is currently is... let's see, like yonder. So...
Someone is scrying on us.
That's the
Are we
way
able to
they'd
see
be
through
able
it?
to ambush us. No.
The
What-
center is in...
Melina, what do you do?
So I am gonna say, if there's an orb following us, I am not gonna say anything out loud, because if it's only 10 feet behind me, I don't know exactly what this is, how its sight works, what senses it has, how how far can you detect, us talking, even if I talk in a whisper. What I will do,
I mean, you can make me an Arcana check if you so wish.
I mean, yeah, I'll do that. I had a
You're a wizard.
Someone else
Yeah.
normal 24.
24, yeah, that's why I'm sort of giving you that opportunity, especially since you have like 8 Arcana, to say that your character would not know how magic works is kind of silly. The invisible sensor that you see now visibly, 10 feet behind you, sticks to you when you stop moving. If you just try and appear casual, but just turn into like a street stroll for a moment, it stops following you, and as soon as you move on, it begins following you again. It's a luminous orb the size of your fist, and... What was the thing you're saying that you wouldn't know? Whether or not it can hear? See and hear is usually how these sensors work if it is of the scrying sort. It can do both at the same time. So,
Okay.
Caution on the wind.
So after she casts the spell, and she notices, she just plays it off. She doesn't stare directly at it, be like, here's a dead giveaway. So after seeing all the spirits and everything, which is actually a little chilling for her, what I was gonna do is you would see her eyes kind of just get that this like grayish color, magic light appear, and she kind of blinks it away, and she's able to see. Well, actually, fuck, this kind of threw my whole plan out of whack. Never mind, because obviously this orb would have seen us do this.
Well,
well, I'm gonna kind of motion. A little like kind of on the down low, kind of motion to Julian if he can talk to me telepathically.
Has it been more than an hour since we left the dome?
it's approaching it. Yeah, you've traveled from the dome to the market, and now living in the market up to shopping. Yeah, it's approaching that hour.
It's approaching 1 hour. The telepathy I put up before should still be up.
Yep.
With Ron, it's last couple minutes into everything. Telepathically, she's gonna tell Julian to not really say anything out loud or bring attention to it, but behind us there is an orb just like how described, but it would have now seen me cast the spell, so if anyone is scrying through it, they're aware of what we're doing. But the orb is still here.
What do you think are the chances that that they were able to read the scroll you were casting if they're 10 feet behind you?
I mean, good point. I wouldn't know per se. I've only seen it now. I don't know exactly the ins and outs of this object so much, but it is possible. But
Is there
we'll
anyone
just
who
continue
would?
like normal.
Are you specifically the scrying target? Does it look, or is it someone else?
Hard to say. It's like a fist-size like ball. There's no sensors or anything on it saying exactly who it's attached to or anything. And we're all standing close together right now, so it could be on one specific or anyone. Maybe we'll try walking in a little bit of an offset pattern. Maybe we can find out that way.
Julian sort of just like casually moves from one side of the party to the other and telepathically asks Melina, does it look like it's following me?
Yeah.
Say again?
Yeah.
Tom?
It's moving close toward the group.
But is it following him specifically?
It's how far away do you go, Julian?
Right where my token is.
So standing like 15 feet away from it?
Yeah.
You would know it's not following Julian then, from the way the spell works.
Okay. Alright, well, we can continue on. Maybe, Nian and, Rai, why don't you,
Rai's not part of it.
No, I know you're not. I'm speaking this out loud. I was gonna say, Julian and Zeno, if you want, go ahead and take the lead. I'll catch up. I just want to, talk to some fellow members. I don't know what I'm trying to say.
Oh, the Kobatsu. Got it. Okay, let's go. Come on, Zeno.
Do you just have that telepathic connection with the two of you? You have up to...
I made it with
No.
with
Everybody
Nia and
but
Zeno as
Rai.
well. So Julian will telepathically communicate to Nia and Zeno. Melina sees an orb following us, potentially a scrying orb, and then ask Nia, can you deliver that to Riot quietly, please?
Nia grabs it and just like walks over it.
Deliver what?
What'd you say, Nia?
I said Nia would have grabbed it and walked over, just kind of like really subtly, like passed by and then like brought it over to Riot.
I'm asking you to deliver the message to Riot, as in cast message and tell him secretly there's an orb following.
Oh, yeah, you gotta be
I'm
more
confused.
specific, man.
I was
Nia,
so confused
You
as
gotta
to
be more specific,
what was
Julia.
being handed to Riot. What?
It's like, what?
Oh, how
Nia
did
would
not
have
part of this
Nia
now,
would have
so
like
confusing.
Nia would have just subtly raised her finger and pointed at Riot. Not even raised her hand. She would have like had her hands by her side and just kind of like raised her finger slightly and pointed at Riot and delivered the message to him.
Specific words?
What do you say specifically to him?
Yeah.
Message doesn't have a word count. She would have just.
Okay, but what do you tell Riot?
Could have just told him what Julian told me.
Okay, moving on. Alright. No, I got
So,
it's okay.
Well,
Moving on.
anyways,
I love it.
It's okay. Moving on.
what I'm trying to do is just get everyone to walk in different ways, and if Riot
Yeah,
knows,
get us to
I'll
walk
have...
separately.
Zeno will put his arm around Riot, assuming he saw Nia's hand gestures, right? Message has a somatic component to it that I feel like I would recognize.
Yep.
Everything she has to say, I hear. but egg cutting allowed.
That's fine. I'll lead Riot in this direction. Trying to get over this way.
Wait, Nia.
Blue. Yep. Just
Nia,
And
aren't
then
you
just
staying
be
with
like-
Alina?
there we go.
Why are you making me do this?
This is great.
Melina, very
okay.
obviously, because I don't know
Yeah,
why
yeah.
Megan is playing this game with me and not saying anything, very obviously you see the orb follow Nia.
Yeah, I'm just letting people do whatever. I just feel like I've been talking a ton.
No,
so,
it's fine. Just stop, please, Megan. Every time you move, I have to actually click on it.
Don't bring it over here. Go the other way. Go towards Julian.
That's hilarious.
So, seeing this and pretend lighting a cigarette to try to make it look as normal as possible.
With this party.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
trying to like wave off the smoke and just be like, all right, well, so. Be like, all right, come on, guys, we're losing time a little bit. Let's try to get there before the evening ends. Get something to eat and try to rest.
We just randomly do weird shit. And you're like, oh yeah, let's go get something to eat.
Nia wanted to check out what was underneath this palm tree. She saw some interesting things there.
You find a plum.
Ooh, yay. We'll have to keep that.
Ground
barf.
plums.
Yee, plums. I'm gonna use my. She uses her prestidigitation to like clean off any like dirt and like taste bite out of it.
Melina, as you walk around, like sort of into looking over your shoulder to that dark alleyway, you just see like this ghostly figure of a woman, no lower jaw, and just these like very white eyes that seem to like shimmer like moonlight as she looks up to you and makes eye contact.
We'll make eye contact like very quick and then kind of divert my eyes to kind of make it seem like I don't see everything as horrific as this is.
Have you seen my child?
Just kind of is taking a drag of the cigarette and just blows it out and just kind of shaking her head like in a no fashion, not really saying too much.
It's fucked because like you can see into the ethereal realm, but you can't hear it. So it's just like she's talking to you, but you can't even hear what she's pleading to you. This dead person, you're like, ah, fuck.
Yeah, let's fucking go. So knowing that the ball is following Nia, she'll kind of, start walking back normally and everything, staying a little staggered. And am I able to communicate back with Julian? I think that's the part that we were getting.
Julian,
Yeah,
can you share the ability of off your cheek? Because I'm actually curious too. I keep forgetting how that works.
Yeah, I
You
do
guys
too.
can all telepathically talk with me, but not with each
You.
other.
Okay, that's right. Okay.
Okay.
So speaking back to Julian, it's saying she'll be telling him that the ball is connected to Nia. It's somehow following her. She's the target.
Don't just say back, okay? And then,
Well, that's still memes now.
Bruh, spoilers, bruh.
I'm just trying to bring
Jesus
drama.
Christ.
I'm bringing reality
I
TV
just
to this.
read that. Oh no.
If Tom wants to be really mean,
Nia,
I
I'm
will comment on what people ask me.
Nia, can you take Mershid with you and get us a reservation at a nice restaurant? We'll catch up with you.
Nia would, because I'm going with this is all telepathic.
She'll communicate with you
Is this
that
telepathic or are you
telepath-
speaking?
that's out loud. Julian will say that out loud, so the person listening hears us. He'll telepathically tell you the orb is following you.
We need to like develop a code or something. Whenever you guys speak telepathic, just speaking to like your sleep or something.
Nia, hearing Julian would kind of look up from eating her plum and kind of like lazily look over at him, and would be like, "Yeah, okay, we'll go pick out somewhere decent there for dinner," and she'll wander off.
Okay. The last you see of the orb disappears around the corner.
Right. Zeno, come on, let's go.
is this telepathically?
I'll say that out loud.
Run it.
Oh, no, there's a lot.
I hate telepathy so much. It's so confusing. Ugh.
I'll always, if I'm speaking telepathically, I'll always preface what I say with saying this telepathically, and then say it.
That works.
Okay. Yeah, all right, fair enough.
Okay.
Alright, let's enter the schoolhouse.
Does Melina do anything while the vision lasts?
No, just keeping her head down, not wanting to really avoid. Or she wants to avoid all the spirits.
Mm-hmm. And commenting on something that was in the chat before, most dead pass on to the afterlife. To bring one from the dead is usually to rob them from an afterlife they would have had also on another plane, deserved by their life lived, right? These spirits, they're in limbo. And, I mean, most people would know this. I wouldn't make you roll a religion check. This is sort of like the world is round, spirits tend to be in limbo. And you see them. Alrighty then. So, as you make your way to the terrace schoolhouse, that'll put us here, and I guess you guys told Nia to do a little shortcut around to come back or something?
Or?
Well, where's Nia going while everybody's going to the terrace schoolhouse?
I didn't understand that part, but...
Neither did I, which is why I'm asking.
I asked her to go with Murshid to find a nice restaurant and get us a reservation for dinner.
Do you do that, Megan?
She understands that the orb is following her, so she's okay missing out on the meeting to make sure that what the party has to do is done in private and they're not spied on, at least for the short term.
Sure thing. Along with your little insectile, district guide there, what sort of restaurant do you go look for?
Nia is looking for, just because even though she's doing this party, she's also like lightly peeved. So she's gonna be like, Mershud, like, oh, I want to find somewhere that has like strong flavors. I need some spice.
Spice.
Nice.
Like spice, and he makes like a little like gesture with one of his small arms that looks to be like he's picking like his jaw on the side a little bit, like spice. Thanks, Will. Yeah.
Some heat.
Heat, spice. Yeah, no, I gotcha. Yes. Oh, follow me right this way. Yeah, no, I got something just the right place.
God damn, we're going to do a drug den.
You arrive in about 20 minutes time. Not sure if you're still being followed by the orb because you don't have that special vision. You eventually arrive to maybe the diviest place you've ever witnessed in all of Ankarel. It is a circular hut with this, to protect from sun, this tarp sort of coned over it. Oh, it looks almost like a circus tent, if you will, but really run down. And when Rashid parts the curtain, you don't see it inside. It's dark, and all you see is just this puff of smoke come out from the curtain. Spice.
Is this run by the meat man?
Welcome to the shade, and we'll come back to you in just a moment as soon as we finalize, I guess, what the party is doing in the terrace schoolhouse real quick. And I'll come back right to you, sort of panning the camera to and through there. So I'll put your token in the shade. This is what the place is called, by the way. What?
Oh, I'm in the shade, so I don't get to see anything either.
You are, if you're curious what this place looks like, I'll show you. You would be over here. Do you have vision?
Cool.
Yeah.
I do.
You do. Okay, so like sort of walking in, this is what that place sort of looks like, but I'll come back right to you. I guess the party wants to split the party and have you find a place, so I guess this is it. I will come back right to you, okay? Is that fine?
All good.
Or do you not want to stay here? It's absolutely your call.
No, I'm good.
Okay.
I can still listen to you guys.
Sounds good. The rest of you in the upper schoolhouse, what? Go ahead. Take it away.
Well, walking through the entrance or anything, do I notice, like, do they have, like, any invisible, like, hounds or, like, patrols, or is there something magical that I can see that we wouldn't have before, like any security?
There is plenty. Spots in the campus grounds, in the grass, some, especially around the Crystal Chateau. A lot of the walls have these sigils carved into them that seem to glow, and you see invisibility that sort of overrides detecting magic, right? Because you actually see the hidden sigils. Most of them are wards of some sort. And from just a brief glance, they're symbol spells. Symbol spell is specifically a spell to store another spell into it to trigger on a special condition, right? There was one by Joe Rashid as you walked by the gatekeeper. There was one behind him. Several ones on door to sort of act as invisible wards or locks of some sorts. Each gargoyle here had a symbol on their chest, sort of spreading outwards toward their shoulders and onto their wings. And you see this connection between sigil magic and the weave sort of animating them. It is sensory overload, really. But you don't have another one of those luminous orbs following you at this point.
Okay.
Yes.
Also, because we know this place got infiltrated, would there be, like, a different kind of looking, like in a different handwriting style or something that wouldn't match what the Allegiance uses? Like somehow, maybe that's how they got into the vaults to get that elephant or so? Like
sigils cast by different wizards? Yes, because the Allegiance is composed of many wizards all using their own sort of methods. The only unifying thing about them is the nature of the spell and the invisibility factor, but they are utilizing different personal touches. It will be impossible to tell which one of these is specific to tie to, say, the Vermilion or the Sentinels of Memory per se. They're not leaving, like, graffiti like, Vermilion Dream was here or anything.
Yeah, I'm just essentially looking for something that's a little different. Or
you're
off.
ruling out.
I didn't know.
You're ruling out, like, essentially options here. Yes.
Okay, good. That's what I wanted to know then.
Or is there like a corridor where there are no sigils anymore?
The one you're in currently doesn't seem to be warded. None of the doors here are warded.
Yeah. Okay, that's what I wanted to know.
Mm-hmm.
Other than that, I'm ready to walk in.
Sure, I'm just gonna put Nia's token down just so Megan is not staring at blackness for how long you're gonna be here. So Megan, feel free to move yourself as sort of camera, okay? That works. Okay.
Before walking in, do we want to tell Grizz everything that had happened? I think we should be clear and kind of help draw out any possible leads that we might pick up on, rather than just saying the job is done and that's it.
I do think we should tell him most of what happened. In regards to what we find out regarding the rumor, I think the most we should just say is we found nothing.
Yeah, I mean, we did find nothing. Just a bunch of...
For the most part.
Well, it is the truth.
Yeah. Alright, that's fine. I'll go and knock on the door.
Both doors are open.
They're open. Okay,
you knock on it, but you do know that it is open. You see the stout individual, Prolix, sort of rummaging through various bookshelves. The middle bookshelf on his maximum reach there. You don't see Grizz.
Okay. Oh.
Hey, Prolix.
Ah, you returned. That was fast.
Where's Grizz?
I'm afraid he is away, otherwise preoccupied and indisposed, but if you return, perhaps I could take the report from you and deliver it on your behalf to him whenever he returns. That way you don't have to wait for him. He is a busy individual. Handling 2 schools is busy work.
You have the reward left here for us on return?
Of course.
You know what he's doing?
I hit it in real detail. I would imagine he's talking to Professor Creod currently over at the Crystal Chateau. There have been some disturbing development with stolen goods from the Allegiance of Allsight, and one has been found, but too late. Activated, you see. So he had to go deal with that.
Professor
activated?
Creon teaches here, and Grizz is the headmaster, right?
Grizz is the headmaster of the Terra Schoolhouse. James Creon is the headmaster of the Chateau. Together, they lead the Legions of Allsight. But they always act in tandem, like brothers.
Okay.
You said something was activated?
Yeah, one of our treasures that was stolen for the vaults has been activated across the oceans. And we must take some measure of responsibility for it getting lost, but also catching whoever culprits stole it in the first place. That way, repeat events don't happen. People have suffered. There has been casualties.
What was activated?
A very powerful earthquake spell, a rare, one-of-a-kind scroll was used by terrorist organization or another, but
Activated where? Curiously, where? Across the ocean.
Are you familiar with Port Domali?
What happened to Port Domali?
There we go.
Well, building has collapsed, a few casualties. He's still working out who's taking responsibility for what. Obviously, the true culprit does not reveal themselves unless they mean to be caught, so it's a real tragedy, all of this, but...
Which building, Prolox?
I'm unfortunately not in a position to say. It's still under investigation, but...
Prolox, it is my home.
I understand, but... I'm sorry, Riot. It's not in my hands to unveil just yet. Once investigations concluded, he's not... Are you intimidating him somehow to tell you?
Yeah, Riot is like his fur's basically up, like his hackles. He would see the claw. Everybody would see his claws, kind of digging into the table right now.
Are you intimidating?
Leaning over. Yes, he's intimidating right now to get answers.
Go ahead and roll me an intimidation check against Prolix.
My intimidation sucks, but whatever.
It's also Prolix you're intimidating, so...
Funny.
Yeah, I'm on it. So we have... Do you want to tell the party a little bit of, above the table of your background with Port Domali? Because I need to look up something out here real quick, okay?
Sure. Basically, Riot, it was the home where he went to when he was 13 years old. I'm saying this out of character, essentially, to everybody, so... basically, Riot was running around like a street urchin, stealing, thieving, being a distraction, making it easier for the Myriad to actually get into buildings, to assassinate people as well. Riot has worked in high-end districts, low-end districts, port. He's even actually smuggled into the Skyport before and actually gone to a sky ship. Riot has been part of an assassination of a higher-up. Before, he deals, his handler essentially was the Father Price, and whenever he had a mission or was asked to come to do a job, Father Price would come out and find him. Father Price is from the Cathedral of Vandra, is also the connection to his tribe, because his tribe does trade with him, or he goes to the tribe to get items as well. Because we're foragers, we get food, we bring food to the Myriad in Port Domali.
Right.
When did you lose connection with him?
What?
When did you lose connection with Price?
He hasn't lost connection with Price.
So, you would know, being off Port Domali, popular destination within Port Domali for wealthy merchants, nobles, and collectors from all across Alexandria is the Exalted Collections Auction House. It's within the Gilded Espionade district of Port Domali, ran by a very esteemed local family of lords. Specifically, there's Gabriel Rimmer and the Rimmer family. And it seems that they have been attacked. There have been several casualties as somebody has collapsed the auction building and has stolen, using this bus, has stolen several goods from this auction house. It is a grandiose, gaudy establishment all manner of rare magical items, collectibles, historical artifacts brought from around Alexandria, from Tal'Dorei, from distant reaches, to be sold here in this to the highest bidder, essentially. Somebody did not feel like paying the highest price, though, and committed a felony there, getting past the high security and stuff with this very powerful spell. Among the various casualties were socialites, nobility, celebrities, other wealthy individuals who have collected there. So this is a big event that's transpired across the ocean.
Okay. Father Price then wasn't among there then?
Prolix does not know that for sure. Okay. All he knows that so far with the escalated war and stuff, a lot of fingers being pointed at this being like the Kryn Dynasty's work, sort of a dual-pronged attack on the Menagerie coast to split the front and attack the Empire from the other side, perhaps steal magical items to forward their goals, because this does not seem like the Empire's work, them being stout allies. Yeah. Other more probable causes would have been like criminal organizations working roguelike, or really whoever had the means to steal from the chateau.
Well, how did that? Melina's kind of like processing all this with kind of like eyes wide open. But how exactly was it known that this was a spell scroll? Because upon use, they're evaporated. Like, how was it known that? Or excuse me, how did they know this came from the chateau?
Well, because we know that we have made it. It is one of a kind scroll. There are not many places that make such magic. It is quite unique and one of a kind. If it's not us, that is good news indeed, as much as mass casualties are. But if, put one and one together, if we are missing a scroll and within weeks it's activated elsewhere, it can be none other than us. Unless we have a big old threat across the continent of some very powerful spellcaster crafting such spell scrolls themselves, but that would be even worse news.
Was there any more spell scrolls stolen? Or is you just know that's the only one?
Just the one.
Okay.
Lena's just kind of shifting her eyes around the room,
kind
of like making contact with everyone and just being like, fuck.
That and a couple teleportation tablets, but we have not seized any of them as of yet. We have been monitoring teleportation circles, and we mark our tablets. Each teleport is recorded, so I doubt they'd be using it to teleport here. Probably sold for coin. But that's all I know, right? And I'm truly sorry. It's not in my position to talk about this.
Thank you for as much as you told me.
Unfortunately, we also bring bad news with us. Not only did our expedition turn up nothing, the rumor seems to have been false, but while we were at the Life Dome, we were attacked.
But that is something. You see, in the pursuit of science, no evidence is evidence. We know that it's a false rumor, so it's progress. All right.
Let him finish.
No, it's okay.
Sorry, Felix, go on.
No, you are clearly impatient. You can have your coin. He places the bag down. He's like, is there anything else that you guys wish to report? He looks to the rest of the group, of course.
No, but I would still like to hear.
Yes, up.
I would like to inquire more so on the attack rather than the results of the search itself. We were attacked by creatures that seemingly were summoned, air elementals. Someone knew that we would be going to the Life Dome and planned to ambush us. This wasn't a random.
Did you not expect to make enemies working for the Allegiance?
Julian just raised his eyebrow in response.
Well, we know the Vermilion Dream doesn't like us very well due to Aloysia and also probably foiling their plans in the marketplace, so we've probably caught a tail.
If you are to work with the Allegiance, you'll have to eventually come to terms with the fact that you will be stepping on some toes.
How many people knew that we would be going to the Life Dome?
Do you expect me to count my fingers?
Was it that many?
I mean, they're an organization operating, together as a group.
I mean, command has to go down through the correct chain, so I'm sure people do know that we were there. But has there been... Well, Prolix, you frequent these halls a lot, and you seem to be very close to Headmaster Grizz, allowing you to be in his, chambers and everything here. Have you noticed anything? Like, has anyone... What's the word? Like, has anyone, like, new appeared? Or has anyone been, like, poking around where they probably shouldn't have been? Or maybe anyone the Allegiance seems to be suspicious? Any of those?
Yeah, you guys. Among many other neophytes. We have many neophytes coming all the time wishing to join the Allegiance. This is why we are going through this thorough process to sort of sift out any spies.
How many people within the Allegiance can cast a scrying spell?
Suppose anybody who's pursuing the School of Divination. That is to say, maybe a quarter of us?
Quarter of you? Julian is genuinely surprised by this. Like, there are that many powerful spellcasters here?
Oh yes, very powerful spellcasters. Like first year course load of Scrying 101. Very hard stuff. But, yes.
Fuck. This is getting us nowhere.
If you wanted to learn more about it, we're more than happy to offer you some classes. You'd probably be able to learn the art within, a couple weeks.
Couple weeks. I don't think so, but I appreciate the offer.
All right.
Wait, how do you learn a spell that's a high-level spell in a couple of weeks?
Dedication. Astute studies, day and night. It's what we are founded on, education. It's what this place is built upon. The very principle of self-improvement in the arcane.
100 push-ups, 100 sit-ups, 100 squats, and 10-kilometer run every day.
Okay, one punch.
Dedication is all you need.
I apologize on behalf of the headmaster and commend you upon facing such a threat. It is no small deal. I will speak to the headmaster and recommend you be bestowed membership to the Allegiance. This will take time, perhaps a week, but you are more than free to pursue other avenues around the city, or come visit should you have any other further questions. But I'm afraid I don't have answers on my end just yet. There's a lot on our plate to deal with the recent attack on Port Domali and us partially claiming responsibility for that and all that. It's a mess. But we'll be in touch within a week.
Okay, Alex, thank you.
Turning to Julian, if we have that thing, and I guess kind of looking around to everyone, seeing everyone's expression of the news that we just got on top of this, I'll look to Julian and be like, I think we should tell him about the orb. This is psychically. He's been he's been on our side, and he's been helping us ever since. And for someone like him to be calling the shots doesn't seem very feasible. And I'm asking Julian if he thinks that would be a good idea.
Julian's thinking about it, looks over at Prolux again with like a sad eye. He's like, yeah. And telepathically he'll say, yeah, go ahead and tell him.
At this point, it's been about 25 minutes or so since you've parted the party, arrived at their schoolhouse. Megan, you've been working for your party this entire time, sort of establishing yourself there. I'm going to pan the camera just one moment to speak to the one player who is not sort of left out here, and see what Megan wishes to do from there. In terms of where you find yourself, Megan, the Shade, as it's called, is an open-air building consisting of like a circular sandstone wall with a green cloth roof held by a singular tent pole in the center. It is segmented into various rooms that have no ceiling, sharing the same roof and the same area of smoky smells throughout. This spicy smoke on the air that makes your head already sort of light. Very shisha sort of vibe here. The rooms are covered in carpets and pillows, separated by beaded curtains and drapery throughout. You see several patrons sharing tobacco and drink from these chitinous bottles made from some bug's shell. And most conversations here are sort of conducted in whisper. Now that you have found a place that has spice, is there anything that you wish to do here?
Melina would try and find the host. Meninia? Nia. That
What?
is my character's name.
I was about to say.
Nia would try to find the
Oh,
host.
boy.
Meninia. The host, eh?
Manano.
Sure thing. I'm putting down a token for you. This is what I'm doing. There we are. There she is. The hostess is a human of blonde hair and these beautiful red jewels to her. She wears an undermask of red cloth and this garb throughout. And it gives you a peculiar look. We don't get many dragonborn here.
I suppose we're a long way from. Can I pronounce my hometown? It's like Sleep. Yep, that's the best I got.
Yeah? What can I get you, dearie?
Well, I was hoping to get a table for a party of 6.
On what business?
Oh, just to unwind for end of day unwind, catch up with some friends.
Friends? Getting anything off the menu?
What kind of menu do you have for foods?
You don't come here often, do you?
Was brought here on a recommendation of our guide.
If you're looking for the chef's recommendation, have a seat, I'll bring it to you and your friends, whenever they arrive. We have all sorts of goods here. I have my sausage special, with a special filling within. Or if you're into something more smoky, I have... And the more she talks to you, you realize that she is sort of underlying her words with double meaning here. And you quickly catch on that this is a place of the illicit, not a place that an academic such as yourself will find yourself often, and it's a little bit like being alone in a dive bar at 3 o'clock in the morning, like, oh fuck, I'm gonna get stabbed. As you catch a few glances from beyond the bead curtains of a few more brutish-looking scarred individuals looking over. You can see what looks to be like one of the lizard folk individuals, this giant, like, alligator-like individual with, like, a whited-out eye and a scour over it. And he just kind of gives you a little side grin as he tries to get what you're getting at, ordering food, like actual food in this place. I can bring it to you.
Well, I don't think I'm in the mood for sausages. So perhaps I will take a shot of one of the strongest liquors you have at your bar and perhaps move on.
Oh, just here to sample some hide. Sure thing. 200 gold pieces. And it's yours.
Excuse me?
You asked for the strongest, so did I not hear you right?
My apologies. How about something that does not cost me more than 5 gold pieces? Thank you.
How about just a little bite on the house? And she pours you what looks to be like maybe a quarter ounce into a little shot glass from these chitinous bottles. Just a little taste. And she like licks her lips. Like, it's creepy to talk to this individual.
Nia kind of just like looks at her and is kind of like a little like taken back, and but not trying not to be rude, picks up the glass and shoots it.
It is the most vile acid to ever pass through your guts. A very unpleasant taste. But boy, does it get you drunk right away. Go ahead and roll me a Constitution saving throw.
God.
As you get lost in the sauce for a little bit here. Time seems to slow as liquid makes its way through your gut there, and you're trying to blink away the sensation with a Constitution saving throw of 7. All turns black as we'll turn the camera to you in just a moment. Nia is gonna end up in jail again, I have a feeling. That's a shit. Alrighty then. So you guys had some time to think about discussing things between the group, and any last things that you want to tell Prolix before you depart?
Yeah, I would mention to Prolix, be like, it seems that we're catching a tail, and all of this has been happening, and, you know, staying true with the allegiance of Allsight. Before we came in, we noticed that there was an invisible orb that was following us. Someone's been keeping tabs on us, and this might also be why we got ambushed. It's not with us right now. It's tied to our other member who's not here with us, the Dragonborn.
Aren't you concerned that she's gonna get like kidnapped or something? Since somebody clearly knows exactly where she's at, so maybe like they're gonna use it to get to the rest of you by kidnapping her and I don't know, questioning her. Where's the jewel, by the way?
Well, you're not wrong. And we have the jewel. It's in our possession still here.
Okay, good. It's not on Nia or anything?
No.
That would have been catastrophic. Okay.
I have it.
Fair enough.
She's with our guide. Should be getting us reservations at a nice restaurant. I'm just waiting for us there.
Well, I hope she's safe. After you just got attacked and ambushed, and you're clearly being followed. So what's the plan then?
Is that sort of magic? Is that something that is like, I'm trying to put two pieces together here. I just don't know how to word it.
For sure, yeah. No, talk to me casually next.
Does the Allegiance of Allsight use magic that's kind of like that, or is it different to everyone? Like, I don't know that exact, like if it's a spell or not being casted like that, or is that something that they wouldn't know? Would be like, oh, I've heard of these kind of things being used by X faction or something. Scrying
is used by anybody who knows the divination school. A lot of wizards, a lot of sorcerers, a lot of clerics. It is a very common spell. It is not associated with a single faction, though certain clergy of the god of divination do use it, but so do, like, priestesses of Sehanine, be it via like star omens or anything. They foresee the future. They can scry on distant destinations for a little bit, but it's such a wide cast net that pursuing that avenue, you're not going to narrow it down into a lens small enough to accuse a single individual in an entire city.
Not a single.
They use it here in Allegiance also. They teach it here. A lot of people who don't make it through the education system here do drop out and become one of the crowd, right? And they can join any other faction they may choose and live out their life with the knowledge they acquired here. So that's a very wide net you're casting there by trying to catch a specific faction.
Yeah, I didn't know if like certain factions here have like certain things that they like to use specifically, and then other people just kind of know, oh, that's the tools of their trade. Like,
not in terms of scrying. In terms of other things, yes, but not in terms of scrying.
Okay, I didn't know.
Like, that the Vermilion of the Consortium of the Vermilion Dream openly uses Iridium in the open. Whereas, say, the Allegiance Fall site, they still use Reading, but they contain it to, like, closed off, within the Chateau studies, away from the public, as to not endanger the public.
Okay. Going back to the vaults, though, and stuff being stolen out of it, like the elephant figurine and everything, who has access to these vaults, Prolix? Other than Rashid and, was it Lemuel?
Anybody with a badge, really. We act together as a partner. Once we trust an individual, newer members are escorted by more senior members, but anybody with a badge is allowed within the chateau and its vaults. Think of it like accessing like a bank vault, right? If you don't work at the bank, if you don't work at the vaults, you will be escorted along. But if you have business there, you simply need to show your badge and have business there.
A lot of fucking trust.
A lot of fucking countermeasures.
Oh, speaking of which, with the countermeasures, if someone broke into this vault with the matching description that we have, like the copper hair and everything, and they were able to get past everything, kind of raises a red flag. That makes me believe that it's coming from the inside.
It is a possibility. I would not shut down any of your theories if you could find proof to any of them. That would be mighty help. Prolix is not gonna be like disagree with you unless it's absolutely like 0% of that happening,
Yeah. I'll let someone else talk.
Mommy, come save me.
I hear a voice in the distance. It sounds like distress.
I drank the bad juice.
Well, thank you, Prolix, for everything here. But you are right. We need to get back to our member. And I hope everything across the sea gets figured out. And that's kind of hard-hitting news for all of us coming from that side of the world. From what I'm told, I've never been there, but it was a beautiful place.
Yeah. Prolix doesn't have much beyond acting as in the absence of the headmaster to deliver your reward of 300 gold pieces should you wish to split it somehow among you guys.
Yeah, we can figure that out.
We'll each take 60. Hold on to Nia's 60 for now.
Yeah, and before we go to Nia, Wright has something to do by the tree.
By the tree, sure. Nia, you, my friend, eventually wake up across the table. Not sure how much time has passed. The shot glass still in your grasp, and all you see is the leering figure across the bar, just sort of smiling at you like, how was it, a ride?
It was a whirlwind, I think.
Yeah, if you'd want more, it'd cost you gold. The first one is free, but I cannot entertain you much more than now. If you wish to meet your friends, take a seat anywhere, and we will serve you whenever they arrive.
I don't think that this is necessarily a place. Like, I took a look around, and I don't think this is the right vibes for them. I think
I don't
I'm
think
gonna...
so either. She says, kind of nodding her head.
Thank you so much for the complimentary drink. She's still swearing a
Dink.
little bit.
Okay.
She kind of just like raises her hand and kind of waves goodbye in a really childish manner. She
over friendly waves you like the creepiest little like hand wave like this.
And then she kind of like grabs Bushid and drags him back outside and say, "Okay, wrong kind of spicy, man. Wrong kind."
Spice. It's That's what you were looking for.
Not that he has no taste buds.
Okay.
Like sweet.
All right. You from here, Melina. Do you wish to look for another place, or perhaps rejoin your party and travel together as a group?
You mean Naya or Melina?
Naya. I'm asking Naya. Megan, would you like to venture elsewhere from here?
Yeah, she would try to describe better.
Okay, you try and find a more high-end place, getting the vibe that you want to keep on exploring. I will let the party then finalize over the Sigil District, and we'll just swing back to the Terrace Schoolhouse. Go ahead, guys.
Restaurant shopping.
Yeah, I will look up some restaurants for you. Go ahead, guys. Take it away in the Terrace Schoolhouse. Finalize whatever you want to discuss with the party, etc. Split your gold, etc.
It would be 60 gold each, and somebody can hold on to Naya's portion.
That conversation was a little bit frustrating.
Oh fuck. Okay.
Yeah, sorry. I didn't realize you were muted.
Yeah, I was muted. Sorry. Yeah, let's just divide it up. I mean, just do it here real quick.
After we like leave the office, Julian will out loud say to everyone that conversation was a little bit frustrating.
Yeah, and I wish we had found out more. And kind of keeping quiet, like while leaving and walking through the halls and everything, and kind of be like, Port Domali, like, that's on our conscience. Like, we should have known better. And Melina's a little shaken by it. Like, there's some real power behind that, and we're kind of reaping the consequences of it.
It seems like the Allegiance kind of just accepts that they have spies in their midst and isn't really too concerned about it or really trying hard to find out who it was. They just accept it as a part of being the Allegiance.
Well, I'm sure they're trying to figure out. We may just not see it because we're at the very bottom right now, and we've been busy this whole day running around. But it's just like how it is in the library of the Cobalt Soul. Agents of the Cerberus Assembly, we're constantly warring with them, trying to infiltrate each other. It just comes with the turf and just having this political power. But with here, it seems a little bit more dangerous with Ruidium, everything happening, and with the Crystal Chateau here being able to conjure up such powerful, magical craft. I mean, we're seeing what's able to happen with that.
I don't know. If I knew that if I was running an organization of some kind and I knew I had spies in my midst, I feel like I'd be more careful about the spread of information of like who is authorized to know what. And when I asked Prolix like how many people knew about the Life Dome, and it seemed like it was common knowledge around amongst the Allegiance, like why?
But Julian, in that same spirit, wouldn't you sort of filter out what you share with outsiders, such as us in this case? Maybe there are things going on. Maybe there are investigations going on that either Pollux isn't aware of, or people in the Allegiance aren't going to share with us because we don't belong to the Allegiance.
I mean, I wasn't asking for methods of how they're trying to weed out these spies. I just wanted to know how many people knew that we were going into the Life Dome. How many people could potentially cast like a scrying spell, knowing that we are a target of quote-unquote spies, assuming it's not them. But
yeah, I mean,
know that though.
Yeah, that's such a wide net to cast though too.
Yeah,
like he said, divination. Oh, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, how could you possibly answer that? Who all knew that we were going there? I mean, if you think about it, how many people are in this city? How many conversations happen? You can't keep track of word spreading.
maybe.
I mean, I would say this: Prolix is though as quirky as he can be into everything. I would be putting my faith into him a little bit more. We've been around him. He's been with us in Bazoxan. He's helped us out. I think he's a bit more trustful than anyone over here. Headmaster Grizz is still kind of a little bit of a toss-up, but the headmaster has to do so many things. If he wanted this amulet and he wanted to do anything, he could invoke his powers. He has the tools and the means to. I don't know. It's coming from somewhere. And like how I mentioned to Prolix, this has to be an inside thing. Someone with power and with purpose, like how we said, to go into the vaults and possibly get these items out, to get past all these wards. When I was walking into the chateau, I could see the gargoyles, I could see on the walls all these magical etchings and writings, these glyphs and everything. This place is well protected. Someone couldn't have just walked in and just taken that elephant figurine. Maybe we need to try, investigating ourselves if we want to pursue this.
Maybe.
What do you mean, maybe? Isn't this your thing, Julian? Though, I mean, this is a good opportunity to figure out the who. Answer the question to the who.
After all, we are going to need help from all these organizations here that are aligned with us. The Allegiance, the Library, anyone else, maybe the Scar Bearers, actively. We don't know anything about Cal Moreau. This Allegiance of Allsight have been here for a very long time. They have these informations. They have the active dig site. It's kind of like scratching their back and they scratch ours. If we go into this blind, we'll surely end up dead. Even this amulet wouldn't be able to save us.
Meanwhile, Nia's just having her own solo adventure with Machine playing chess in the casino. Like, I'm a party abandoned me, fuck this. Gets drunk, plays chess within 6
She is
points.
not quite herself when she gets drunk. Okay.
As they're leaving the school and walking the street, Julian will send a telepathic message to Nia. Say, hey Nia, where are you? Did you get us the reservation?
We decided to have some fun and go to the casino.
This is like,
Okay.
I have an actual IRL story where we have the dialysis patient and we couldn't find where she was. She disappeared on us and we called her husband, MIA, and we end up calling her transportation and she's like, no, we took her out of the whatever nursing home, whatever. She never arrived at the hospital. Where is she at? She's at the casino. Oh, okay. So this
You're
is just remind me of that.
And over the telepathic link, she'll kind of shush Julian, be like, shh, I need to concentrate. He's gonna take my pony.
Julian will out loud talk to the rest of his party and say, Nia's at the casino.
I mean, I guess that's where we're gonna go then. But, alright. We know that orb's following her and she's a target. We need to get to her before anyone else does.
How long does that, we should have asked Prolix how long a scrying spell lasts.
And you're still there at the Terra Schoolhouse.
I guess we can just quickly run up and ask him. I'll do that.
Quickly running
Be
up,
right
ask him. He lets you know it's no longer 10 minutes. It's very hard to maintain it. Should you wish to cast it for any longer, the target will continue to resist till eventually it kicks you out. But of course, that all depends on the target's, mental acuity and its arcane shielding and state of mind. Say if you got really drunk, for example, it would be really easy to maintain the spell against such a target.
Okay, thanks, Prolix.
Yeah, of course.
Julian comes back to the party and everything, I'm gonna look over to Riot and kind of place an arm on him to say Riot, are you okay? You got a little. I could see it come, through your eyes and everything. I'm sorry for what happened in Port Domali. It's quite a shock, and I feel as if we're all responsible for this.
Riot isn't actually really talking right now. He's just looking at the tree and If the group does go to the casino, Riot's just going to walk towards the tree. He can't talk right now. Melina probably would be able to see blood at the base of his palms from his claws digging into his hands.
Like gripping tightly? Is that what you're
Yeah,
describing?
like he's so angry that his claws are out and they've dug into his hands. Like, if you want me to mark off like a few points of damage, I'd have no issue with it. But like, that's basically what's happening.
It's flavor.
75 points of damage go.
He's dead.
Unconscious.
Kind of ruffling, she'll take her bag off of the bag of holding, and kind of rummage through it and kind of look for anything, just like maybe a little bit of cloth. I'm not the healer, or anything. Be like, right, you're bleeding, like you're tensing up too much a little bit, and then just try to like at least help to loosen his grip a little bit.
Riot's just gonna growl out. I wanted to return that scroll. I didn't care about selling it.
On hindsight, I wish we had known too and had a little bit of better judgment on that, but I guess we let a little bit of greed blind us that day. I guess I also personally wanted to use those funds to get to where we needed to go. I put everything ahead of, Elixion. I didn't think about others and how real-world implements this had. So for that, I'm sorry. I should have used better judgment.
I just hope none of my family was hurt.
I hope not either. I hope nothing too horrible, but I only feel like this is going to fuel the war that's going on over there. It's going to hurt everyone. I hope maybe when we get to the end, there's some way that we can try to fix everything, go back. If I had the time, if I had that amulet still, if Elixion's powers didn't kind of seep from it or whatever happened to it, I would go into all the timelines that I could and do what I could, try to fix that, but I can't.
What I want to know is the other scroll that I have in my possession. I want to know if it's from the exact same place or if it's this other scroll. I want to know if what I have is still from them. And if it is, I'm going to go to them and tell who had it. Would
Wait,
you be
what?
able to see?
Are you talking about that 5th level spell, the Draconic
Yeah.
one?
The one that Riot still has, yeah.
Yeah, I just looking through my items that we have.
Because if that spell scroll is from them, I'm taking it to them and telling them that I got it from her when she dropped it. I will not explain the other scroll, just this one.
Well, there should be markings on it saying it's from the chateau. That's just like the other one. It's not as high power, but I mean, it's got a bit of a kick. Casting something with this kind of potency can't be done by everyone. Tom, would there be like any seal or like any inks on it saying it's...
Remind me, guys, which spell scroll is this?
Summon Dragonkin.
Summon Draconic Spirit at 5th level?
I understand, but you found it in the Betrayer's Rise, no?
We found it off Aloysia. She dropped that with the Earthquake scroll.
I'm pretty sure she didn't. I'm pretty sure you found it in the Draconic Library of the Abishai.
Actually, I think we found it from the Abishai, the blue Abishai.
Oh, right.
I was gonna
Right.
say, I don't remember Aloysia dropping
forgot
anything
about that.
other than the tablet and Earthquake.
That's what I was
scroll.
thinking.
All right, yeah. that
And
one.
looking
My
for a
bad.
seal of the Crystal Chateau, you don't find one. It bears a lot of markings of Tiamat, the magic coming from the Abishai's writing.
Well, all I can say is I think Aloysia is part of the reason why the chateau has been broken into.
Well, they're definitely... It's confirming my suspicions that they're trying to get in and cause damage. And at that point, if they're trying to use such high potency spell scrolls like that, I mean, they'll bring this down. No problem at all. But it just...
I didn't want to interrupt, but what was that? Lymel
Among the many
walking
people,
by?
yeah, among the many people in the crowd here whose tokens I'm not going to put down, I do put down the tokens for people you do recognize. You just see Lemuel walk by, yes.
Emil. Okay.
Well, We have to find some way to implicate Aloysia for having something of theirs. Because she was one of the people that have taken that scroll. Or somebody within the Vermilion Dream is the reason why that's gone, perhaps. And we've been attacked and we've had scrying orb on us. That just means we're being watched, just like I predicted as soon as we hit this Uncut Bazaar. I might not have had anything basis upon it, but I had a feeling. I have a feeling that the only way for us to actually get information, probably go forward, is through them. But we have to do what we can to gain their trust. That's my personal thought.
When you say them,
The allegiance
what are you talking about? Okay, I thought you were still talking about the Vermilion for a second. I was about to be like, hold up.
No. He's saying we need to find a way to implicate them because he knows that the scroll was already already stolen from the chateau and Aloysia had her hands on it.
Yeah, hard to say how we would implicate her of that. But if an opportunity comes up, we can work on it.
Well,
So
I think
either,
Go ahead.
well, let's boil it down here. Either Aloysia or somebody from the Villian Dream broke in and stole it, or somebody from the Allegiance waltzed it right out and gave it to Aloysia.
Also true. It's hard to know exactly how it escaped from the chateau.
The latter sounds more reasonable, right? With the way Melina described all of the essentially magical surveillance. It would almost have to be an inside job.
The only issue with that is that there are spells to allow someone to use somebody, let's say, charm them, get them to do what they need to do. Have them walk in, take the item out, and then hand it off to them. They could not have known what they've done. They could also get their memory adjusted.
What does it take to make that happen?
Charming a person, I can do that.
You can do that.
I can charm
manipulating
people.
memories, that's powerful magic.
And Alex just said there's a lot of powerful people around here. Let alone in just Allegiance. Cobalt Soul has their own probably Vermilion Dream, and we already know about the Secret of Memory. We already know that they are wizards and high up mages or in the court themselves. Who says they can't?
I mean, these are all great questions to ask. We've been only here for 2 days, and today we've been busy narrowly escaping death. There's a lot to go on. We just need to start asking the right questions to the right people and start looking. Right now we're all acting on suspicions, but I think it would be fair with our involvement of what had happened into Port Domali. And for me personally, I only speak for myself, but I have an immense amount of guilt. I let greed get ahead of me because I wanted to get here. I wanted to see what happens with Elixion, and I put everything aside. But I think helping the Allegiance of Alsight will bring a little bit of closure, and bringing Aloysia and the Vermilion Dream, either bringing them down or at least hurting them in their stance here, to at least feel a little bit better about kind of what we have done. And then as she's done saying that, she looks around to see what everyone else is feeling. If no one feels guilt, she'll remember.
Let them all burn. No. So to describe Zeno, just for the entire group, I'm very silent on the topic, very conflicted, and you're right, Melina. I myself let greed get in the way of what was right, and innocent people, good people, got hurt. I'm not sure how to cope with this right now, but I'm very conflicted as well.
We should do the right thing. We should.
I'm not
at least try
selling
to
my
atone
manta
for it.
ray cloak back.
Nope, give
I'm
it
not
back.
doing that.
You
I'm
gotta
not
give it
giving
back.
my
Starting
cloak
with your
back.
items.
No, I refuse. This is very fashionable. It's the only fashionable thing I've had in years. No, but on a serious note, yeah, that. I don't think that the overall pain, the overall sort of realization has quite settled in, right? To hear that you are somehow indirectly involved in a lot of people being hurt. It's going to take a few moments, at least for me, for it to like really hit. Kind of like it's surreal, I guess is the only way I can explain it.
What I'll say is, next time we find an item, I'm not hawking it at all. I'm taking it back to where it belongs if it is in the proper stead, just like what we should have done. I think I might stay at this tree for a little bit if that's all right with you guys. I don't think I can eat right now. I have some things that I wish to plant here and give back to what we took a little bit, and nothing I can do in this garden here will ever bring back the lives and the pain that was caused. But all I can do is plant in memories.
Well, I completely understand. Oh, go ahead. Go ahead.
No, I have some trees from the Life Dome that I was told I could take, and the blue wood trees that I would like to plant here. And perhaps I can give people comfort here from just doing simple things like that. But the one thing I would like to ask if we do go to the Cobalt Soul is information on the Emperor. I'm curious what kind of person he is because I need to talk to him.
Well, I hear
Oh,
and I understand.
Everybody's talkative.
Yeah.
Somebody
Sorry.
go.
Go ahead, Julian.
Julian's just gonna say, you sure you don't want to come get something to eat with us? You're not gonna be hungry?
I have my good berries.
Okay.
Well, I hear what you're saying, and I can't imagine the amount of pain that you might be feeling not knowing exactly what is happening over there. But let's be strong right now. It's possible. We know that Nia's being looked at, and we could use your assistance if something is wrong with her.
Speaking
Let's
of
go.
which.
Let's go.
Nia
Yeah.
kind of just like barges
Hold on,
in and is
hold
like,
on.
Hold
oh
on.
my
Let-
god, what? You guys left me. Why are you all here? And why was I not here? And she kind of goes up to Melina and like hugs her from behind. It's like, Mummy, I drank the bad juice and there were weird people and I think I lost at chess.
Hey,
Lots of
Tom, does she look like she could have been poisoned at all from this drink at all?
She looks drunk.
Okay, lesser restoration. Ryan will cast lesser restoration on her to see if it'll do anything.
What was that, Nick?
I'm good.
Alright.
Ryan will cast that on her to see if it'll do anything to help her drunkenness state. I know it might not do anything, but given the state he's in, he's still going to cast it. I did not mean to do it a second time.
That's fine. Technically speaking, less restoration does cure drunkenness.
Doesn't say it, but I wasn't sure how drunk she is or something. Cause I know.
I see what you say here. What you're doing here by spending a second level spell slot. I'll allow it.
So Riot would take away Naya's drunken state with just casting lesser restoration on her.
Mm-hmm.
So Naya is no longer drunk.
Naya would kind of shake her head and be like, whoa, that was quite the
Yep.
bender. My apologies for just barging in like that. So, anybody want to tell me why everyone seems to have quite the long face?
Remember that scroll we had that we got rid of?
Julian will like clear his throat loudly, like, and then sort of like eye other people in this area.
And you can tell her, and I'll go dig.
Hearing
Practically, Julian will tell the that earthquake scroll. It looks like it was used and it destroyed Ride's hometown.
kind of just looking from Zeno to Riot, Nia would kind of just very clearly be distraught, and she'd walk up over to Riot, and she'd just give him a big old dragon hug, bear hug, but scalier.
What's the name of this place again?
Which place?
Town that got destroyed.
Fort Domali. Melina would, or not Melina. Nice. Sorry, we keep on screwing up her
Why is
name
everyone
right now.
trying to take over me?
Naya would first hear like growling in his throat, but from a gentle hug, slowly would start to hear Ted purring.
She would just keep holding on and just kind of like keep patting his back, like in a really soothing manner, and just kind of like in like a silent way, just kind of like encourage him that like it's okay to like, if he wants to like let go and like be vulnerable, this is a safe place.
Cry.
He's not crying. His nails his claws have finally receded into out of his hands, and a little bit of blood would be just dripping down his knuckles is all. I think I'll be staying here tonight.
I'll join you, if you don't mind, Ryan. I'll join you since you joined me when we spent the night at the Celestial Garden. It's only fair, and trust me, I know how it feels to have your home destroyed.
I would definitely take you up on that, and if you can find some meat, I think that's something beyond just good berries.
I prefer meat, but I'll have some good berries.
No, I said if we find some meat, I can cook something else.
Yo, let's go looking for meat before we have a campfire around here. That'd be delicious.
Think there's gonna be wild animals walking around the city?
Oh, where's that stray dog? Let's eat that.
I was literally just about to say that.
I was gonna say I can make one of you guys able to like levitate or fly too, if you want a bit of an advantage on like if you wanted to find like some pigeons or something.
Pigeons?
No.
I think just find a butcher shop and buy some meat.
Yeah, let's find a butcher
Yeah.
shop. Why are we eating beasts of burden around here?
Better yet, why don't we just go to a restaurant?
Ryan hates being indoors.
What? Okay.
Well, think about it. Ryan grew up on the
Yeah,
plain.
dude.
He slept outside. He was an outlander. He would always be traveling.
Okay.
Even whenever he was in Port Domali, he would probably always sleep outside underneath the sun or on top of a building.
Well, I was gonna say
It's
I'm with
just who his
Julian.
character is.
I was gonna say I'm with Julian. Like, why don't we try to get our mind off things? Let's go grab some food. We can find a quiet corner, discuss everything that's kind of happening more. That'll leave the evening open for us to kind of do what we want. But we've been walking around all day. Everyone's probably tired, sore, hurting, hungry. And we can come back, after, whatever we discuss at the dinner table. And then we can kind of come back and relax, maybe have a bonfire or something too.
Julian, you have a room at an inn in this already, do you not?
I have a what?
A room at an inn.
Yes, I do. For myself. What was the name of that inn again? I don't remember.
From the list that Tom gave me, I think it was Mongoose something.
Tom's probably shaking his head, saying, "Why didn't you write down your own place you're staying at?"
It's up to you to remember the places you've rented.
On here, I think I think it's the Harried Mongoose Tavern
That sounds familiar. Yeah.
in the River District. We all just like to go and meet there, and if any of us would like to get a room, we can. If not, if for Ride, I know you don't. That's not your thing. So, but for anyone, like perhaps Melina, if we'd like to take a bath or anything, we've been through a couple of ordeals there today. Hasn't been
Yeah.
easy. Might be wise to get a room.
Real quick before I say this, Will, you said you have to be going. You might be leaving a little early. Do you still have like a couple minutes and everything? Because it's 8:45.
15 minutes max.
Okay, that's fine. Basically, what I was trying to say earlier is, let's keep everyone together so we can kind of like do what we wanted to for like the last like 3-4 sessions and do some bonfire time. Like, that'd be cool. Because it seems like everyone kind of wants to branch out and go here, go there, stay here. What do you guys want to do?
Well, Riot wants to plant his trees before he
Yeah.
leaves this area. His 5 trees.
I'm gonna do that thing. I sort of discussed this with Nick before. I feel like as a DM, it's much funner if even if a player forgets, a character remembers. And I will gently remind you, Riot, that before you can start your modifications, you must go to the Cerulean Palace to speak to Gamashega in order to acquire your deed.
I know that. He's still just going to plant these little sapling. He's just digging a hole for them.
I 100%
I know
support
it's,
you.
I know it's wrong.
Mm-hmm.
As I know it's wrong, but in the state of mind he is, he's just doing this.
Gotcha. No problem.
If he gets in trouble, he gets in trouble. It's just the state of mind he's in.
Well, you know the risk, but if you would like to say a prayer or something, then, you know, I don't mind, you know, staying for that, if this will help you.
Yeah.
I just need to put these on the ground. Let something grow. I'm not going to cast any growth on it. I'm just going to let it grow on its own.
Yeah. If you wanted to tie any sentimental value, she was just going to be there.
Riot would probably, as he's planting these, I would just make small prayers to the people of Port Domali and everything like that.
While the group was watching or whatnot, Nia would take out her lyre and just begin playing just a soothing song to just try and calm everyone's nerves.
Well, I pray for the souls of those who were lost in the destruction, possibly. And I pray to Ayun to hopefully give us the knowledge and the guidance to kind of get us to where we need to go so we can fix these wrongdoings in some way, atone for them, and to find Elixion. And hopefully he can help us maybe repair with his divine magic. So I hope the knowing mistress will give us the answers that you are looking for, as well as everyone here.
So do we want to just go ahead and call a session and we can start next session with some campfire time by the tree?
Yeah, we can do it by the tree, or we can do it at the dinner table, or we can just go eat, talk about the events of the day, and then we can just retire for the night and do it then, like around a bonfire.
Yeah.
I know an elf who's pretty good at it.
So during this rest period, whatever it is you wish to do, go ahead and level up to level 7.
Hey!
And,
Damn, 6 was quick.
and,
Level 7 bonfire coming up.
and,
Level 7 bonfire.
and as you take your time for a bonfire or whatever, plan ahead what you guys want to do before next session or during the next session, as you have this seemingly like a week before the allegiance gets back to you. You may do whatever you wish. acquire new skills. You can flavor how you acquire your new spells or your new battle maneuvers. Before we finish off session, can I do something with Julian real quick?
Yeah.
What's up?
Okay.
In private chat or here?
No.
Oh.
Julian,
Oh, okay.
where do you spend this night as you rest?
I'm going to sleep in the room that I have booked for myself.
Okay. As you...
Although I will probably stay up a bit and then sleep later at night.
Doing what? All right, keep your secrets.
What are you doing, Julian?
I don't know. I'm just asking
Double
why.
checking. I want to go
ears
through with
are
it.
here.
Thinking about it.
Do you want to think about it? Like something for next
yeah.
session?
I'll think about it for now.
Okay, this wouldn't be non-consequential for when you eventually do find rest, unless you end up in a jail cell, and even then, within the jail cell, this happens. So, whatever it is you do it, and then eventually, as night's rest finds you, your consciousness drifts to sleep, or what is equivalent to somebody with elvish blood, that half state. As slumber finds you this night, your dreams usher you to a strange landscape. Across ocean waves, back to your distant homeland of Shorehus. Past Port Domali, past that craterous ruin where smoke and fire has taken everything. Past the empire lands of the valley, past the mountains, and into the desolate wastelands of the Kryn Empire. You find yourself trudging through spongy ground. Around you are the bogs of Broken Vale Marsh, lush vegetation, and the sweet smell of swamp surround you. Familiar to you, this smell of home, back where you came from. In this isolated corner of the world where you first honed the magics bestowed upon you by your patron, you once more come face to face with Malchior. Malchior, the Illithid, drifts into view as this tall silhouette, unraveling from beyond the swamp mist, levitating a few feet above the ground. From beneath its hood, you see moisture clings to the writhing mass of tentacles, falling down the length of its slender body. And the closer it draws to you, the more uneasy you begin to feel as your sense of balance warps. The surrounding landscape grows more alien. Squirming, barbed feelers rise from depths of the swamp pools throughout, and the sky above you darkens to pitch black. In place of the celestial moons, you look up to see three eyes glare down upon you. Their pupils slitted black against bright orange-red irises. The eyes are humongous, celestial in size. You're sensing something. This creature before you, Malchior, speaks to you. It is speaking to you through images cast invasively upon your mind's eye. You are shown flashes of places far from here, beyond the material plane. A seascape of infinite watery horizons, of equally infinite depths, and a swimming sensation in those depths overtakes you as you find yourself there, swimming in those depths among leviathans of nigh incomprehensible size. You sink into those watery expanses and bear witness to this kingdom of the deep. A giant shelled like nautilus swims past you, and you hear the sonorous sound of whale calls piercing the waters. Finally, you glimpse the silty bottom upon which lies a seemingly endless expanse of ruined desolation. Stone walls crumbling to time lie encrusted in coral and mossy growth. But you are not alone here. Something gargantuan lurks in these murky depths. You look around, glimpse it in the abyssal dark. A tendrilled monstrosity, gilled and wounded. It's suffering, matted by pain and trailing this dark, oozing blood in its wake. Cresting its large, round, toothy maw, a vermilion corruption clings to the creature, sapping its strength and sanity both. And in that moment, as your essence briefly makes contact with the suffering creature, you hear Malkir's voice in your mind once more. Seek, find, kill, release. Return it to the plane of endless waters. Return my son to me. And with those words echoing in your mind, your dreams fade to black. And we'll pick up from next morning, next session.
Okay.
I know how much you like keeping these things in your notes, so here is the... I'll just message you details of this.
Oh, thank you so much.
No problem. Alright, guys.
I don't have to rewatch the video 8 times to get this all written down.
No, you have been very much conscious to witness it all there. As we'll begin next session from level 7. Everybody having rested and thought of what they want to do.
Yeah, when we wake up next session, I'm going to ask Julian exactly what he dreamed about.
You don't know what I dreamed of.
Right.
I mean, we don't know what he dreamed of.
I'm going to ask.
Julian, you
Just
wake
randomly.
up and you
Julian,
vomit.
tell me about your dream.
You wake up vomiting seawater. You're not Ford. Anyways.
I mean, it's going to be interesting him trying to convince everybody to go and kill this thing, unless he's going to go solo it himself. It's going to be a lot of questions.
Alrighty then. Go ahead, we're going to wrap up session. If anybody wants to tell me anything last minute, I'm here to chat for a little bit.
I need to run. Sorry, guys.
Yeah,
There you
and Will, for what it's worth, I don't know what the situation is, but if you need to hang out, talk about it. I've been in your shoes before, so, if you just need somebody to talk to, I'm there, okay?
Thanks. No, I just, I wasn't going to play unless Em needed me, and she has had a rough time because the crematorium did call, so I'm just going to go spend time with her.
No problem. Okay, just let me know if you need anything, okay?
Thanks.
And hopefully we'll see you next week.
Probably.
Sounds
Cheers.
good.
At least
Bye.
for part of the time, at least until 9 at least, probably. Anyway, cheers, guys.
I will.
Good night.
Coolio. Yes.
Tom.
Yes.
So how does it work if I wanted to take a feat instead?
What at level
Is it in bed?
7? I think you did multi-class. You're only bard, right?
Yeah.
So you take a feat as an optional rule. You take a feat whenever you gain an ASI. ASI is ability score increase. At level, I believe, for bards is 4 and 8, and 12 and 16 and 20. You get to increase your scores up by like 1 each or like 2. Instead of doing that, you get a feat, right? So at level 7, you don't get one, but I think as a bard, you get one next level.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. No problem.
Because I was looking at it and I wanted to take one of the draconic feats because I thought that would be fitting.
Which one is that? Just curious.
Well, there's 3 draconic ones there. I was kind of debating between between the metallic and...
What was it called? Like, just give me the title, I'll read it.
So there's Gift of the Metallic Dragon, and then there's the other one that I was considering was the Gift of the Gem Dragon.
So, for either of those, when it comes to certain feats, I think when it comes to all feats, I like it when characters really flavor their progression toward them. Like, I'm trying to become more alert, I'm trying to become more proficient in this weapon. With Fizban's Compendium of Dragons, or whatever that book is called, that introduces the dragon feats, I like it when people like flavor elements of dragon lore into their character progression. Tell you what, you have a whole level to figure it out, right? And I'm telling you right now, if you're looking for dragon elements, you might be in the right boat, because this adventure has something along those lines for you if you're so curious. Try and come up or talk to me something to do with dragon lore to sort of explain away why you have indeed the gift of the gem dragon or the gift of the metallic dragon. Now, if you do remember or want to learn, the metallic dragons are the good ones. Those are the ones that what's your inheritance? You're blue, right?
Yeah.
So those are chromatics. Those are like Tiamat and her 5 heads, very bold colors, mostly evil dragons, some exceptions, right? The metallics are more guardians of the universe, world, whatever. If you're looking for a gift from them, you might want to seek one out, or an element of which. Being of the Cobalt Soul, I'll tell you right away, because Megan might not know all the lore, but Nia will certainly would. There is a temple to the Platinum Dragon here in Ankarel. Bahamut is his name. He's the brother of Tiamat. He's sort of the yin to her yang. If you're looking for any draconic elements, maybe quest there, pick up there, and maybe that'll give you a little bit of flavor for your character to pick up those feats come next level. That way it's not just like, I level up and all of a sudden I have telepathy,
Yeah, the thing is, I was hoping also with the experiences, especially any times that like she passes out or blackouts from drunkenness, I haven't used it much, but she does have in her background the reincarnation feature of the past continent, the last continent that we were in.
The reincarnation feature. Can you click on that feature on your sheet and link it to chat? So
No. She doesn't have that feature. Like, we didn't build it on her sheet kind of thing. It was just kind of in her background when I was making her. And I haven't been a good player and attempted to use that in RP chat or anything like that.
I'm confused with what you're talking about. I'm sorry.
When a creature dies in a certain radius of this thing, they can be, whatever the correct word is, into like reborn basically, and over time with training and whatnot can recall parts of their previous lives.
Are you not a research sage?
Yes.
So I am very confused on why you're talking about like reborn features. Do you have a link of what you're reading here, or something you can send me later?
It was something that I was reading when I was first building this character. It was on some of the paperwork there from your previous DM, I think.
Megan, do you have it on your character sheet?
No.
Then how is it part of your character?
It's like I said, it's from her background. Like, not a feature from her background, just like when I was making her and we were trying to figure out a background for her, that was something that...
How about this? You and I can talk about this. I just want to hold other people if they have any questions for me.
Yeah.
If you want to hang out after this and you and I can talk about it, maybe you can explain to me what exactly you're talking about, because I will be honest with you, I'm really confused. Maybe it's something that I've just forgot, because it has been 26 sessions, so maybe, I don't know. But yeah, okay, we'll talk about it in just a sec. And does anybody else have anything for me?
Not at the moment.
No.
Okay. All right, then we'll cut recording here.